sideways, boys in the days. Sideways, boys in the days. Sideways, boys in the days. On a Sunday night, I might bring you some hair. Sideways, boys in the days. Sideways, boys in the days. Sideways, boys in the days.
House.
On a Sunday night, I might bring you some hair.
Empire Wild, baby. It's the people's champ. I'm something like a bowler. The candy paint dripping off of the old school Impala. I'm with that big bank Hank, that Poppy Joe and box. Trunk bump like chicken pox. Turn the bass up just a notch. You see them blades chopping. You see that trunk popping. Hoes that diss me in the club. The same hoes in the parking lot bopping. They see me in the Jag, acting bad with T. Ferris. Open mouth and showcase icing. You gon' see about 20 carats. I'm with the you 15900 in the Tahoe 124s. I'm the truth, I got that glow. I'm out there Swisher House with Archie Lee and Kuda Bang, sitting sideways on Swain, the candy paint dripping off the frame. You see me acting bad, I'm showing out and pulling stunts. Say cheese and show my fronts, it's more carrots than bus when it's lunch. It's Power Wild, baby. I got it made, I got a cup full of that oil and I'm paid. Plus I'm sitting sideways.
Boys in the days. Sideways, boys in the days. Sideways, boys in the days. On a Sunday night, I might bring you some hair. Sideways, boys in the days. Sideways, boys in the days. Sideways, boys in the days. On a Sunday night, I might bring you some hair.
What it do? I'm on the block, posted up like a mailbox, staying licks on the grind, putting money in my socks. A legend in the hood for gold grills and popping seals. An icon on the mic for showcasing my verbal skills. I'm in the club, posted up with some gangbangers, still flipping the old school candy Cadillac on swingers. I got a styrofoam white cup full of that drink, looking for that dank. My hustle game sharp as a shank. Big bank take little bank, 84s and candy paint, trying to find some honey love. My Mackin' game is top rank. These hoes peeping me, ear hustling on the side, eavesdropping my conversation, trying to figure which car I drive. I'm on the scene strapped up like I was bungee jumping. Hit the corner, you hear me bumping. Look at that chrome grilling woman. The trunks popped up, my music screwed and chopped. I'm the undisputed king of the parking lot. I'm sitting sideways.
Boys in the days. Sideways, boys in the days. Sideways, boys in the days. On a Sunday night, I might bring you some hair. Sideways, boys in the days. Sideways, boys in the days. Sideways, boys in the days. On a Sunday night, I might bring you some hair.
Maybe OJs, but we going crazy when they see me sitting sideways on them 24. Bunch of hoes, bunch of money, bunch of clothes, cigarillas out the mold, gliding like an ice skater, molding like a slide nose, suicide drop doors, mono blocks, top mode, customize that, cause the mono block stock low. Sensei, Don Key, how wow, in the play, heads up, when you see us, we gon' put it in your face. Rays gon' sky in the yellow, when I blaze, boy, smell that behaves, ain't the nigga to sell. I'm the dude with the metal, nigga get hot as a kettle from messing around, that ain't got it together. Flossing, breaking out the intersection, crossing, 3 with an acting the his ass on them bounces. SUC in the dough, MOB on the place, pull up in the driveway, leaning and I'm sitting.
Sideways, boys in the days. Sideways, boys in the days. Sideways, boys in the days. On a Sunday night, I might bring you some hair.
What's good? Let's do a mic check. Who with me today? The twos and the fews. Who's with me today? Oh, I don't need much of your time. I don't need much. Thank you for being here. Let's just have this conversation. Let's start in. Not a lot to talk about today on my end. I might do a little bit more listening today than actually talking. How's the reception? Are we good? Sound good? How's the video? Because I was having some issues yesterday, a couple days ago. I don't like how the video has been coming across. So can you guys help me out with that? Let me know if we're good to go in the chat. How we looking? How we sounding? Couple of clips I'm gonna play today, and maybe we can talk about it. In the city of Cincinnati, I seen a clip of hold on, let me just make sure we're good here. Let me make sure. Somebody just texted me, and I just want to make sure we're good. Notifications. All right. Are we good on Facebook? Are we good? All right. Are we good, YouTube? Are we good? See, my messages are not coming across. I don't know why it's doing that, but it's not coming across the screen. I can see it on one screen, but I can't see it on the monitor. I don't know why. Daryl Hunter just said, yep. All right, there's a Facebook message that just went by. Thanks, DH. Thanks, Ed. What's the orange and green, Ed? What's the orange and green there? And see, I don't see either one of those messages on my monitor here. So I'm just going to do what I need to do. Mama Birch was good. She says Facebook is blurry, but it will work. See, I don't like that. I don't like that. No, it won't work. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like that. Let's just get by. I've been getting by our whole life. No, we want it to work. We want it to look the way we pay for things. If I pay for it, I want it to be right. You feel me? So yeah, no, I got to figure out what's going on because it's a sometime type of thing. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Kim Moore Eberhardt said we're good. Okay. All right. Let me get over a little bit. Maybe it's my camera angle. Brenda Early, good afternoon to you. Couple things, man. This might not last long today. Today may not last long. Like I told you, the first of the year, I'm always super busy in handling the things that I need to handle in life. But couple things, man, that I wanted to share with you guys. I happened to see the response from the mayor in the city of Cincinnati. Oh, wait a minute, Jenny. Let me read Jenny real fast if you guys don't mind, because Jenny's always here. Jenny's been here since day one, it seemed like. It's been forever. So I want to pay her at least some respect by reading this long comment. I'm sure she wrote this long comment wanting people to read it. So not only I'm gonna read it. Hold on, let me try to pull it back. Not only am I gonna acknowledge it, I want to read it for everybody. She says, "Good afternoon, Wyatt Live family. Happy Thursday. First day back at work since December the 22nd. Listening on a tab in the background, YouTube. So not sure how much of any chat participation I may have." Okay, Jenny, I appreciate it. Just you being here is enough. You don't have to say anything. So, tell you a little secret, Jenny. A lot of people watch this program and they act like they don't, and they don't put anything in the chat, and they act like they're watching from the back, and they don't think we know that they're here. Doesn't bother me. It used to bother me a little bit, but it doesn't bother me now because Regina said blurry, and yesterday I couldn't see any comments. Yeah, it's been very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. I got to work on that. I got to figure out what's going on. Because y'all missing a lot. When you can't see the comments, you're missing a lot. I mean, people are talking. There's a lot of comments going on in the screen more so than what's going on in the conversation here. Some people make comments off of what I say. Some people are holding sidebar conversations. There's a lot going on in the chat that sometimes I have a hard time. I really can't keep up with the chat, to be honest with you. I don't know who can. I don't run commercials here. I don't do anything like that. So I don't have time to sit back and read every chat that comes by. I don't have time to do that. This is a live show on the air. Look, y'all already know, if I give you 3 hours, it is 3 hours. If I give you 2 hours, it's 2 hours of the show. You ain't hearing about Bob the Carpet Dude. You ain't hearing about the picnic next Tuesday. There's no ads. There's no commercials that come on. You get 100% of us right here. It's either myself or a caller. And, I'm just fortunate to be able to do that. I've had people want to run ads during campaigns and all that. And I'm not in it for the money. So I wasn't really trying to have people run little bitty ads because they want you to vote for them or, some old goofy shit. I don't support people that aren't really doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't. You keep your couple $100. You keep that. You know what I'm saying? It's more value. My integrity is more valuable than money. And what some people do is they sell their integrity for a piece of money, and they probably feel good until the money is gone. But when the money get gone, you realize your integrity went with it. And now you have to live off of a false pretense of who you are and what you believe in and this and that. And I don't really want to go through all that. I really don't want to. One thing you can say, whether you agree with me on this program or disagree with me, I'm very consistent in my train of thought, in my thoughts and what I believe in and what I talk about. I stand on it. I stand on it. And if I'm wrong in a case, it's gonna be I will tell you, hey, I was wrong, but here's why I felt like I was right. And yeah, I mean, maybe that's somebody that's not admitting that they were wrong in some eyes. No, that's admitting that you're wrong, but then trying to not validate why you felt the way you felt, but just give you an idea like, hey, I was misinformed, or I was told something, I was told something different. You know what I mean? I was told something different. The report said something different, or a cop wrote something in a report that was inaccurate, and the cop was reprimanded. So now I'm not going off the information that I had. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going off the information that I had once before. It's new information. So now I do have a different outlook on things on that because I was misinformed. That only makes sense. We are certain people to give us information. If they give us bad information, um, you can relay that. Let people know, hey, I was told something bad. I was told something wrong. That's why I felt the way I felt. And one thing I'll say, I started out talking about this. Let me just say this. I heard a response yesterday from the Cincinnati mayor. Yes, my favorite mayor. I don't know. Twin got on me the other day because he said that I'm capping for him. I don't necessarily know what that means, but he's saying that I something I believe or I love this mayor to the point I don't know exactly what he said. Y'all know Twin. Twin said some shit. It was which way but loose. But he said, and I've said it. Yeah, Aftab is one of my favorite mayors. Y'all don't understand. He played chess. He playing chess with a bunch of checker players. So yeah, I love strategic players. I love generals. Generals are what move wars, not presidents. Presidents don't have any strategic. They look to generals to strategically win a war. Generals do that. Generals, they are the strategy of an army. They are the strategy makers of an army, not the president, not your not none of them. It's the generals. They are the puzzle piece movers. So I understand. Let me just say it in layman's terms. In today's society, they would be called bosses. Bosses. Generals are bosses. So let me tell you, the old saying when they say game recognize game. Well, let me just say this. Bosses recognize bosses. And I know who's making decisions and who's doing certain things when it come down to strategic planning and who's calling certain shots, because it enables their you know what I'm saying? It enables their opposition. And I could tell you right now, yes, Mayor Aftab is one of my favorite, if not my favorite. I don't know many of them, never really followed politics in the Cincinnati area, but Mayor Aftab is my favorite general. He's my favorite general because he is playing chess with y'all. And I mean, and me, quite frankly, I probably should be more not disappointed. I probably should be more I guess disappointed is the word, but I'm not. I'm not. Let me just say this, and I don't want you to take this out of context when I say it. Has anybody grow up around bullies? Has anyone ever been on the playground and a bully was bullying other kids, but they wouldn't bully you? It's a fair question. Have you ever been on a playground in elementary school, junior high, high school? I don't care what level it was, college, wherever you were. Have you ever been on a playground and watched a bully kids, bully other people? How did you feel? How did you feel? Did you get involved? Did you fall back and say, as long as he don't bully me, or as long as she don't bully me, fine. It's all good. I don't even care. Was that your feelings? Or did you just sit there and say, I don't know why they letting him bully. That motherfucker can't even fight. I seen Rock knock his head off down on Sunset before. I seen this dude. This dude can't really fight. This girl, she can't really fight, and they letting her bully. Was that your approach? Did you have an inside link on how this person really is? Well, I'm probably the third one when watching how this general is working. I can strategically see the people that he's put in place around him to keep the smoke off of him, even when his administration is dead ass wrong. I can't hate him for that. He's a strategic player. He's a boss. He knows how to put the vocal leaders in your community on his side so they won't go against him, so you won't go against him. That's strategic. That's what that is. So I've never really tried to go after the person and expose them for the ability to be able to put people to sleep, to bully them. I'm just choice number C. I just fall back and be like, man, I already see what it is. If people want your lunch money taken, fuck it, go ahead, hand it over to him. He ain't gonna come get mine. But that's just the choice that I'm not gonna be out in the front yard trying to fight someone else's fight when I know I can beat the bully. No, I ain't gonna do that. I didn't grow up that way. Sean, Tico, Jazzy, Ronnie, all them dudes, they never fought my fights for me. Never. They never fought my fights. They would always, it was, bruh, if you're gonna let that boy bully you, if you let him, you better fight him. If you don't fight him, then we gonna beat your ass. That's how I grew up. That's how a lot of us grew up, ain't it, Mama Birch? Didn't you tell Dwayne? Didn't you tell Wayne one time, get your ass out there and fight that boy? If you don't, I'm gonna beat your ass. Didn't you tell him that before? I mean, I'm sure you have said to somebody. My point is this. You can only make people aware, but you can't fight their fights for them. You can only say a few things, and then you got to just sit back and watch and just be like, hey, let it go ahead and go down. You can't stop them anyway, because in this particular case, this person has strategically farmed the right people. Let me just tell you this. You got people that have never been in politics in the city of Cincinnati on their Facebook pages and on social media, posting shit about a white lady in Minnesota getting shot by ICE. And they didn't post one thing about an 11-year-old girl getting shot in their own community. And they got 15, 16, 20,000 people watching their post. These black people in our own community who will hold ICE accountable for some shit that happened in Minnesota, but won't say a motherfucking word about their own administration, won't say nothing about their own people and the failure of the city and its leadership for an 11-year-old. And what, a year and a half ago before that, another little black boy got shot and killed in that same park. And y'all will post on y'all page about a white lady in Minnesota, and you care so much about the black community, and you giving this Trump motherfucker all this attention, and you talking so bad about him, but you don't even keep your eyes on your own backyard. Now explain to me how that makes sense. When you make that make sense, then if you can make that make sense to me, then hey bro, I'm with you. I'm with you. You'll carry a bunch of different disinformation about a white lady being shot in Minnesota about some ICE shit before you will post on your own page or say anything about an 11-year-old, because you know where it came from and you know your audience. And you know what? We already know you part of the strategic piece. How could you? Boy, y'all motherfuckers easy. Easy. You'll talk about that lady in Minnesota getting shot by ICE. That lady is part of every agenda that's been coattailed on the backs of black. Not a peep about the little black girl that got shot, the 11-year-old. Not a peep about the 12-year-old got shot a year before that. Not a peep about a camera in the sky. And I'll be lucky to get 1,000 people listen to this. I'll be lucky to get 1,000 people out of the Cincinnati area to listen to this. But they will watch. They will watch a video about a white lady getting shot in Minnesota before they talk about the shit they go on in their own community. It's sad. It's sad. It is absolutely sad. And all the trolls who want to be here today, I guess this one's for you. This one's for you. For the ones that don't understand what I'm talking about, you understand what I'm talking about. You just don't want to understand because you're probably part of that movement too. But the problem is this. Here's what I say about some of them. The ones that get paid for doing what they get doing or what they are angling themselves to be put in position. I respect you more than the ones that's sitting back cheerleading and not had to pay to get in the game. It ain't nothing worse than a motherfucker that cheer louder than somebody that's getting paid. You cheer louder and you play more of a pivotal role than the person that's actually getting a check. You know what they call that in the hood? A do boy or a do girl. You a do boy, you a do girl. You playing more of a role than the person that's actually positioning themselves to prosper off of the failure in our communities. At least they saying the shit and doing something crazy and they positioning themselves to get something in the long run. You're not. Explain that one. Make that one make sense. So now the mayor of Cincinnati, yes, one of my favorite mayors, because I know he's strategic, was finally asked about the cameras. The news media said, hey, you were allocated this amount of money. You were told that we were told that we would get this type of attention in the West End. I don't understand it. What can I say it like this to make it a little bit better or maybe understandable? Can y'all imagine if Republicans ran the city of Cincinnati and this same thing was happening? You know what most people would be saying? Them white folks, them devil-ass Republicans, they don't want those cameras up in the sky. They want us to kill one another. They want, this is structured. This is done on purpose. This is the mayor and his goonies. They don't want the mayor, the police department, and the city. They all working together to make sure that we just go ahead and kill one another. Been listening to them long enough to know exactly what they would be saying if someone else was in leadership, or if the leadership that they have in place wasn't as strategic. The last mayor, what was his name? Somebody put it in the screen. Can you imagine if this shit was going down with that last mayor that they had that they didn't like? He didn't give them the same type. He wasn't as strategic with the black community because he didn't give the black community nothing. He didn't give y'all nothing. He didn't give you no contracts. But the last time I checked, we were under 2%. Yeah, I do a little bit of homework. The last time I checked, when we had a black mayor in the city of Cincinnati, we were still getting like 1.4, a fraction of the contracts in the city of Cincinnati. Thank you, AK-47, John Cranley. Can you imagine, AK, if John Cranley was the mayor of Cincinnati right now and these same incidents were happening? Can you imagine that? You know what they would be saying? You know what they would be saying. But see, when you're strategic, you got the right people on your side. Nobody holds you the same way accountable. Now, I'm not saying at a certain point, When families start going down to City Hall and going into these city council meetings, then the story has to change, because the obvious is just what it is. It's just plain sight obvious that something needs to be done. There's no one else to blame. There's no other exit doors in the building. You have to focus on where it's coming from, and the accountability falls on, drum roll please, there's nowhere else to move. You can't take this story anywhere else. It can't breathe outside of the room that it sits in. So yesterday I watched the video. It crushed me. It literally crushed me. Here's why it crushed me. Because what y'all don't know is what y'all seen, some of you, informed people who watched that video in City Hall yesterday, and you watch those families cry to City Hall. I get those same type of people around me in my office. Sometimes I get the phone call. Like I told you, was it yesterday, day before yesterday? I didn't have 3 families on the show that I've actually talked to the people. My son got killed. This is what they told me, Wyatt. And I'm like, well, I'm not really in a position to talk about this on the show because I can't really I can't verify what you're telling me. But years of consistency of hearing the same thing, they not lying to me. They're not lying. Families that don't even know one another. I watched a man cry to city council yesterday who lost his son a year and a half ago. And you know what he said? He said, I feel sorry for the family of the 11-year-old girl. And he busted out. He just broke down crying because he can feel their pain. He says, I could feel, we advocated for cameras all this time. And it's still no motion. Nobody wants to take on the accountability, but yet everybody wants to say there ain't no blame game. I'm not going to blame someone else. And in the same breath say, but CPS, Cincinnati Police Department, is supposed to handle that. Wait a minute. You can sign off on releasing the chief, and you have full confidence in your city manager in the decision that they made about the police department and its chief. But then you can turn around on a high profile situation like this. You turn around and say, well, it's up to them to get that stuff done. Let me check with them. No, you pick the horse of being able to say, I support the choices that they make about the Cincinnati Police Department. I support it. I mean, you just removed a sitting police chief. You just remove one. Everybody sees that if the police department is not doing what they're supposed to do, we know who it fall down on, because y'all basically, you had to do some explaining about the former chief and the position she's in right now. So we all know who calls the shots coming down the police department. We all know. So now when the media comes and asks what's going on, now you shift it to the police department. I see that it's just, it's just a lot. It's for me. I clearly understand the strategy. And if I'm telling you, if different leadership was involved here, if this was an independent mayor, or if a Republican was running, y'all motion and ocean and shit that y'all would be saying would be so different. It would be so different right now. But it's not. We all know why. And it's not because you don't know that this shit is crazy. The reason why you're not saying anything is because you don't want to piss off the circle. You don't want to upset the normal people. And I'm telling you, you don't want to piss off the lieutenants that's been strategically placed around the situation. And you don't want to be one of those that can be outcast or thrown out of the circle or looked upon like they look at me. That's right, AK. She says, this is what happens when you believe the lies. They keep coming. Come on, man. Anybody ever been cheated on? When does the truth come out when a cheater gets caught? Never. Now, I got a sister on here right now. I really shouldn't say this, but I've known her and her situation long enough to say it. And I think she respects me enough to know that I don't mean any disrespect. But y'all know Black Fox on here. Y'all know Black Fox. I call her Black Fox. She lost her son. Same way we talking about all this shit out here. She lost her son that way. If y'all really want to know a story, reach out to her. Years ago, she lost her son. Ask her if the way these families are being treated right now is any different than how she was treated when she lost her son. How they treated her all the way from the media to in court to your nonprofit organizations, and how they handled her and her situation. They gave her badass court dates. They had her sitting in courtrooms and shit, getting continuances for another 2-3 months, 6 months. Nobody was there holding her hand, asking her, making sure she understood the process. None of that. And we worried about some lady that got shot in Minnesota. I'll tell you a little bit about that. I know you don't want to really hear it, because I did heard some of the craziest shit that you can possibly. I don't even understand why that's part of our conversation. I can see how people that have certain things on their mind make it part of your conversation, because if you can include or incorporate Trump into any of your conversation that is negative, you are going to do it. Black Fox said they still ignore me. How long has it been now, sis? Let's leave it alone. Let's leave it alone, because you got some ignorant motherfuckers on here that think that I'm using your story to make a point, but I'm not. I'm using you to be right, and I'm not. So leave it alone. Don't answer nothing. I know your story. I know what's going on. Just leave it alone, sis. Don't even stay, but don't answer me, please. Just don't even answer me. Damn it, she answered. All I'm saying to you is you got people in your own city that bodies that look like us are dropping, and they focused on ICE. Sierra Brooks, I will get to your you sent me a message. I'll answer that today. I promise you. I seen the message that you sent me. It was in regards to some business, guys. It was nothing about what we're talking about right now. I just wanted to acknowledge my sister, because it takes me a couple of days sometime to get to my DMs, and I want to acknowledge her question that she put in there. I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you on that, Sierra. Sierra said, what are the top 3 actions you think? Excuse me. Sorry, the screen moved. She says, it's moving again. She says, what are the top 3 actions you think your audience should take in the next 6 months to improve the situation? Which situation? The situation of what's going on in Cincinnati? Because it for me, it should have started 4 years ago. But if you really want to see some real action start, Sierra, I know you're in Boston. I'm out of town as well. What happened yesterday was the beginning of why I blame the community for what's going on. See, until you go down there like you want to go down there when something happened to us and other people do it, and you want the accountability from the police, you want the accountability from the white man that did this and the white man that did that, or this that did that to us, until we take that same strong arm action, all you got to do is do what they did yesterday. You see what I'm saying? They went down to City Hall and they knocked on the right door, and they sat in front of the city council and they talked to city council, and the families that were hurt, the family that was victimized, the mother of the daughter that's 11 years old spoke. The 12-year-old little boy's father spoke. Look, let me just say this to you guys. I'm not blaming city council. I'm not blaming that for what happened to them kids. Because quite frankly, we live in an environment where that was going to happen regardless if there was cameras there or not. My blame has nothing to do with AvTab or city council or any of that. My blame is to the community that allows things like this to happen in their community. Now I know you're gonna be like, well, who gonna just let that happen? What you want us to do, Wyatt? Grab guns and shoot back? No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you to have the same energy that you have when somebody else do something to us. When George Floyd was killed, they took serious action. They knocked on the right doors, right? Because they know that when certain people do certain things, that, that's kind of a micro win for them. Okay, we got something. Just like the shooting in Minnesota right now. That ain't even our fucking problem. But we got guys in our city that got a huge following that talks about the damn migrant, the ICE shooting, and have not posted nothing about the 11-year-old. That's what I'm a little angry. I'm a little flustered about that. So it started yesterday, as far as I'm concerned, Sierra, because the families was down there. The families spoke. But here's the thing. Even when they go in there and do that, even when they go in there and talk to the leadership, nobody's walking out of there saying the right thing. Everybody's waiting for what they were waiting for before. I mean, to me, a child knows better. A child growing up, believing in Santa Claus, telling their mama they want a new bike. And mama say, hey, Santa might get you one this year. The bike don't come. Next Christmas, mama, I want a new bike. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what go on. And it don't happen that year. Eventually, even a kid gonna step off and say, well, I ain't gonna never get no new bike. I might as well just stop asking for one. People get frustrated with their leadership. Can I give you an analogy real fast so I won't lose that point? Let me give you an analogy. I'm in a profession, a sports profession, where when I walked into the sports profession, there was one guy who had 300 fighters, 285 to be exact, somewhere in that area. So I'll round it to 300. Used all that blackety black shit to sign these fighters because he bought a book of business and blah, blah, blah. He dominated the industry. He's their manager. Okay, a manager works for you. You don't work for the manager. It's not like in retail. It's not like you work for this manager at the gas station. It's like if you are a singer, Crystal Hawkins. If you're the singer, you're the next Whitney Houston. You didn't win every talent show. You got an album deal and blah, blah, blah. Your album just went gold, and I'm your manager. I don't tell you what to do. I go out and handle your business for you. You tell me what to do. See what I'm saying? Same thing in the boxing world. Your manager don't own you. Your manager works for you. Your manager's job is to get you the best deals and to put you in winning situations. You work for the fighter. The fighter don't work for you. So why do we live in a world where we think the manager is in control? The manager is the boss. And in the fight game, that's what they think. Because when your manager is the one who writes the checks and makes sure you get the check, then I guess in your mind, that's your boss. That's who runs shit. But it's not reality. It's not reality at all. And I guess what I'm trying to tell you is this. You're letting the people that you elect, they work for you, but you treat them as if they're your boss. I don't understand it. They are supposed to somebody please look up the word government. Didn't I have this conversation once before? I'm pretty sure I did. How is it that the government runs us? The government works for us. It's the government's job to keep us safe. We don't work for the government, but you know they pimping us. They take the taxes out, whether you like it or not. You can't fire them. They run you. All right, CK. CK's on hold. I'll get back to my point. I don't want him to fall off because I do want to have a conversation with him today, and others feel free to call. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, how you doing there, brother? Man, great show, great show. Bully analogy was excellent.
You're not a
Bully
bully.
analogy.
You're not a bully, CK, are you?
Hell no, man. Bullies, man, they ain't nothing. A
Okay.
bully is somebody like Suge Knight. I don't respect people like that, sir.
Okay. So what's on your
You know
mind
what I
today?
mean?
Yeah.
He uses his muscle, and then you gonna bully yourself out the industry, sir? Because you can't grow up and count your paper. You feel me? You can't get on the yacht and go on the balcony. You want to hang people over the balcony. That's a bully. A freaking idiot. You're going to put 30K on another black man's head. Now you fighting for your life, federal charges, facing the rest of your life in prison. That's a bully. A bully is a coward, sir.
Okay.
I would never sponsor a bully.
Okay. So
You know
what's
what I mean?
yeah. So what's on your mind
we do
today?
things young, and we do. But I was never, even when I was young, I wasn't impressed by bullies.
I got
You
you.
know what I mean? But
Okay, what's on your mind today, CK?
how did you handle the bully? Have you fought one?
I've had to fight a couple bullies in my life.
Did you lose?
I lost one. I ain't gonna lie. It was the
Yeah, I
first
got
one.
my ass whooped by Squeaky. Squeaky, he was a bully, but you know, hey, like I'll take
Well,
1,000 more ass whoopings
yeah.
than
I
let
mean,
somebody bully me.
here's
I
the
don't
thing.
like that. I'm not that type of cat.
Here's the thing. The first one got me because I really fought under pressure. I fought because I felt my mama told me if I didn't come home with my members only jacket, if I didn't come back home with it, that she was gonna jack me up. See what I'm saying? So I went and had a fight with this bully on Sands Montessori at the playground, and he got out on me because I was a much smaller kid. But now here's the short of a long story. Um, Believe it or not, that particular bully, his name was Tony. He became one of a good friend of mine. After we had that fight, that's all it took. So I lost the fight, but I gained the respect. You feel me? Like I told him, like, bro, I can't really be friends with you, man, and you bullying people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it kind of made him stop bullying people because our friendship with one another became a little bit better. He wanted to learn how to play baseball, so I would be out, we would toss balls and have a little bit of, we would do type of shit that he was missing in life, and it caused him directed him in another way of living. So he did stop being a bully. You feel what I'm saying to you? So he ended up being a better friend to me than I thought it would be. So I lost the physical fight, but I won the respect. You know what I'm saying, at the end.
Yeah, and can I tell you my respect winning story about my loss?
Sure.
Okay, my bully, his name was Squeaky. We on the bus, right? So he's turned around facing me and a young lad. You know how you be face turned the other way, sitting up on it.
Yeah.
Now, as he's turned around facing, he's mugging him with his finger. Boom, boom, right in his head. These people in the back say, I bet you won't do CK like that. Hey, they ain't even had to speak for me. Listen, sir, I guarantee you he won't do me like that. I know he won't do me like that. Now, he's just looking at me with that sinister grin. Now, as I get off the bus, he gets off the bus. My other homie gets off the bus. Luckily, no witnesses got off the bus to witness the ass whooping.
Okay.
Now, he got off on me. I got slammed on my head and stuff, but luckily I was on the grass. So, but to make a long story short, he got off on me. The respect was there because, hey, I'll take a whooping, but hey, I lost. But now this what happened. I skipped school one day and I happened to hear a car pull up and I seen the same bully and two other guys, I'm in high school, running to the house next door to me, which was a police officer. These fools then tied up the mama and daughter and looking for the drugs. I'm skipping school. I'm not even supposed to be there. You know what I did.
Give me a hint.
Absolutely nothing. The same thing I think Wyatt would have did when he was 16. What you would have did in that situation? I put the pressure on you, brother.
I don't know. I don't know what I would have done, bro.
You wouldn't have did shit because you can't do nothing. You gonna call the police? What you gonna do? They thinking the police a dope boy. The dope because he riding around with the truck, whatever the kits and everything. They done ran up on him and they tied his his wife and his daughter up. He gets up out of there shortly thereafter. But like I'm saying, these are the things we are faced with as black men in society. And I'm gonna do the same thing Wyatt gonna do. You think Wyatt gonna call the police? Hell no. But he's not the same person he was at 16. Am I lying?
No, I'm not the same person I was at 16. You're right.
So that's the situation I dealt with as a bully. Remember, I'm going to add substance to your program. I'm not going to call your program and bring down what's going on. I'm with you. Okay. This is what we're going with. And like you said, this is the situation I had. The same bully that whipped my ass and we got cool with, he was deep in the streets doing all that. So we are traumatized. We have secrets. We got dark stuff. What if it was a homicide? You know what I mean? Luckily, it wasn't. But what if it was, Wyatt? This is real life. And everybody want to be joking and laughing and thinking everything funny. What you're saying is tremendous. I already started on the 10K plan you gave me. You said deduct it. Sir, I do listen to you.
Good.
You are effective out here in this community. And you're not even living here. That's the power of Randall Wyatt. Okay. His power spreads throughout the community. Your thoughts?
Well, thank you. Well, it's important. Look, I just think that sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. Okay. And, you know, it's been my approach to sometimes, I don't know how to explain it to you, CK, to be honest with you, bro. I just think that sometimes I'm never going to change anybody's mind, CK, okay? That's not my intent.
You changed me. I wanted to die now. I wanted to live. We have it documented.
No.
You can listen to our whole years of therapy and you can see the depression. And then when you get to now, you see Wyatt never let you give up. Because he don't give a damn that you're not a relative, you're not a friend, you're just a guy that he don't know. But he still has a heart because he's black and he want to see you succeed. He want to see you in them nice ass suits like he be wearing.
Well, you're killing me today, CK. I don't even
know. I'm just giving you, this is why I like you keep coming on the air and you dressing sharp. It's not just me. I'm just the nigga that's giving you the props. But I'm talking for the people
I'm
that
saying you're killing me today that I can't even respond. You leaving me speechless today, to be honest with you, brother. If that mean, that's kind of a compliment. It is a compliment. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, because my purpose is exactly what you're talking about. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like
now you see the gift God gave me. I know everyone better than they know me. That's why when you hear these idiots, everything they try to guess about me is wrong. I am really a person, heaven sent. I am heaven sent. I was airborne. The pain is what got me in rare form. Remember that. So I can see everything. People don't know me. That's why they hurt me. That's why they know that I was dropped on my head. They know that I had learning dysfunction. But they still criticize me in your comments because they hate me because I'm a black man saying this. If I was white, they would uplift me, sir.
I don't know about that. I'm not saying you're wrong, but let me just say this to you. Let me rephrase what you're talking about. Okay. If I may. I think what you're basically saying is all the things that you've gone through in life, all your pain and all the things that you have suffered through is who made you are, that's what made you who you are today. Okay. And you just needed someone or something to make, I don't know. I think you just need somebody to talk to.
Yeah, it's not just you. Remember, you,
Right.
Emmanuel, y'all are connected. Y'all both kind of do some of the similar things, but y'all promote fatherhood. Y'all promote marriage. Y'all promote education. This is what I promote. This is what connects all three of us. So I'm the
Yeah,
guy
you just
that has
kind
to
of you
promote
just kind of have a
y'all.
funny way of mixing in all that stuff, and then you saying the things like you say, and then you kind of compliment it. Kind of brings a humorous kind of a daisy mixture where we don't really know if you trolling. We don't know if you just kind of I just think you have your own way of explaining some of the things that you've gone through, and people don't really try to take you serious. So then um when you give props to people, then that doesn't really come off as serious either. You see what I'm saying? Because it's almost like
Yes,
you're putting
and
that
remember
person.
when you talk to me, you're talking to somebody that's been to the other side. You haven't talked to a lot of people that has died, that has came back,
Okay,
resurrected like
all
Jesus
right.
Christ. It's only a few of us. So we've seen.
How
That's
you
why
know
I can
you died?
see
Did somebody
everything you're
did the
saying. I can
doctor
see places.
did the
That's
doctors
why I always respect everybody's opinion.
CK
Other people don't have that gift.
did the did the doctor say that you were clinically dead?
Yeah, man, you see us, I'm gone, dead,
Okay,
heartbeat gone.
okay,
But I came back and I seen it. I talked to God. I'm just trying to tell you.
okay.
He told me what, my mission in life and everything. I knew what I was doing. Why I was set back everything, my mission now. So now I'm about to be 50 next month. Why? So if I die tomorrow, even if I don't make it to 50, I done did 1,000 years more than these people that's living. So it don't even matter. The fear is gone. That's what I got. They still got fear. That's why they disrespect me on your program with comments, because they fear death. Yes, they people that died is my people that died. That's the same people. I miss my people just like them. So don't act like your pain is different than me. That 11-year-old girl that hurt me when you said that. I want her to get justice. I don't like that happened, sir.
No, I
I don't
understand.
like that happened. That hurt my heart. But man, I'm gonna let you go,
All
man.
right,
But much
brother.
love to the family and
Same
keep
to you,
on
bro.
pushing, man. Getting that money, man.
All right, brother.
And
Take
I
it.
ain't talking about money, you know what I'm talking about. But go ahead, brother.
No, I thank you for engaging with us today, CK.
Yes,
Have a
sir.
good week. The rest of the week.
God,
All right,
God
brother.
bless.
Talk to you. Had to get that one, get it in and over with real fast. But I appreciate CK. I mean, he has his days where it comes through a little bit better than others. Some days are really, foggy. And then some days are you know, some days are good, some days are bad. I understand him a lot more. Um I understand him a lot more than I probably should. But I think over the years I've heard his pain. And I just sometimes wonder if what he's saying is real. Um, I just question it sometimes. I don't want to step on CK at all, because in his mind, it's all 100. It's real. And the way he expresses himself, like today, he kind of lost me. I mean, like I couldn't even say anything to some of the things that he was talking about. Today was a bad day. I'll put it on me. I told you I have to gear up to talk to CK sometimes. I got to be able to switch gears fast. Today's not that day. So I'm gonna I'm gonna say that we'll put CK's comments on the back burner, and maybe I'll be able to catch up with him and speak on it tomorrow. I don't know, but the dying and talking to God and all that type of stuff. See, I don't really go into that. That's not my forte. You know what I'm saying? I have no conversation about that. Um, it just doesn't really. I can't relate to stuff like that. Um, so I'm gonna let CK's comments kind of marinate. I'm gonna hold on to them, and I'll maybe try to address it later. I don't know if y'all give. I think he's hard on himself or hard on you guys for, because I watch some of the comments that come in about CK. I don't think that the chat is that disrespectful to CK, and I don't think people hate on CK. I think sometimes CK bring in the stuff that he's going on in life somewhere else. He'll bring it here. Maybe you know, how people hate on him out there, and then he'll bring it in here and blame it like on the chat people. That's just my opinion, because I don't really hear a lot of disrespect going towards CK. Maybe it's you know, the slightest thing might be disrespectful to him, but I haven't really seen a lot of disrespect his way. Let me go back to the phone lines, man, before I start talking about my point or my topics today. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Yes, me, back to back.
Hey, what's up, twin? What's good with you, brother?
No bathroom breaks and keep that jacket on.
I don't know. Should I start unfastening my
Go
jacket
ahead.
now?
No, just
What's
play, Joe.
going on, man? What's happening? Thanks for engaging.
No, good day in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Weather nice,
Okay.
60-some degrees.
It's 60 in Cincinnati?
Like it's feel like it's like 60, 62, something like that.
Okay. Wow.
I know it's got to be like what 80 down there, probably 80.
Oh man, I can tell you exactly what it is here. I don't know off the top of my head. It's warm, but I can't tell you off the top of my head. Let's see here. It is 75.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
Good enough.
It's what I live for. It's what I live for. You know,
yeah.
This time, in other years ago, same day today, it was a snow day. You know what I mean? And I just had to get away from those type of days. I'm glad it's 60 something there. Mama Burst said it's 59 degrees here. I think she's in Cincinnati too. I
think they're gonna crank that Soldier Boy up next week though.
They're gonna what?
I mean, they're gonna crank it down a little bit. They can probably get cold next week though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you say Soldier Boy? What is that? You said they're gonna crank that Soldier Boy?
Yeah, he cranked the weather. Push that noodle down.
Okay.
I watched the meeting yesterday at City Hall.
Okay.
And to be honest, man, it brought tears to my eyes, man.
Yeah, it wasn't nice.
No, man, I turned it off. I watched it, and the young fella from the son got killed 2 years ago. I watched it for a second. I said, man, I can't do this. Too emotional, man. The pain that was coming out of his voice and the hurt and his voice crying out, man, like, man, I know what she's going through right now because I've been there. And I've seen the expression on them council face like, yeah, hurry up with this type and everything. And I just don't get it, man. And people, why, like you said, man, they worried about ICE and everything, but they not even worried about what happened to the 11-year-old girl. They posted broad fights and all that, what went down, made Cincinnati famous. But they post when that girl got shot coming home from work. So I wonder if Perm and Sugo go down there in Minnesota and take the hype flag up and everything and stand with them people. And let me tell you something, Wyatt. Let me tell you something, player. When I was in Chicago and I heard about ICE coming, I went on Humboldt Park, and I don't even mess with Humboldt Park like that because of them Lion Kings and everything else over there. So I went through there. I went on the west side. Excuse me. On the west side where the guys
Whoa.
at.
You called them the Lion Kings?
Latin
Kings. Okay. My bad. I thought you said the
Lion
Kings.
Not Lion. I'm sorry. Latin King. So I went over there, you know, because I knew ICE was probably going to be around with the Mexicans and Latino. So I'm like, man, if they get out their body, they suited and booty and all that. And see, ICE know where to move to. Because you're not going to really come in Inglewood and set up shop and think you go get away terrorizing black folk. And them YNs ain't going to stand a chance for it. So they know when to move. And lady, if you see the video, Wyatt, common sense and Trump already told them what's going to happen if you jump out your body. So you sit there and ram a police car, which is stupid or whatever, for attention, whatever you mad, and you get your head blown off. Do I feel, man? No, I don't feel sorry for nothing like that. I really don't. Because you took a chance and you knew how these ICE been from a couple of years and how they get down, terrorizing people and spraying people, whatever the case may be, and you want to lose your life over something stupid? No, you should have just took your goofy ass home.
Well, let me say something. Can I interrupt you for 1 second, twin?
It's your show.
I know, but out of respect, I just want to cut in for 1 second. Um, I don't understand, and I'm just gonna say this because they have no problem saying black folks, us black folks, you know, when they want to use us black folks. So I'm gonna just step in and say this. I don't understand why any black folk have any problem, other than the fact that someone lost their life. We can have sympathy for that, but you better not have any sympathy or extra sympathy or start talking crazy because this lady got shot and killed. Do you remember a year and a half, 2 years ago, twin, when the little
When the
girl
police shot
that
go
little
ahead.
girl in Kroger came out because she stole some alcohol, she stole some liquor, and she ran to her car. And when she got in the car, they shot and killed her because she drove off in her car, and the police officer
Yeah,
shot her. Do anybody other
yeah,
than me remember that?
yeah,
Okay. The reason why there was no outrage is for the same reason why this lady in Minnesota got shot. Because
yeah,
the officers told that lady to get out of the car. They asked her to basically obey. She refused to do so. She drove off just like the little black girl did in Columbus, Ohio. And she didn't
yeah,
get charged. They didn't charge those police officers because when you drive off, if you shoot at if the police shoot into your car because you use it as a weapon,
yeah.
they're not going to charge you. They're not going to charge that police officer. Here's going to be
Nope.
the same thing. The officer in Minnesota shot into that car and it went through the front window. So all y'all that don't understand and listening to all this
Yep.
bullshit about how this man was at the door and he shot in the window and all this 3 times and all that old stuff, that's bullshit. The man was standing in front of the car and that's how the bullet hole entered the front windshield. You can't
Yep.
get around that. You can't shoot somebody from the side of the car and have an
Right.
entry of a bullet in the front window. That's just not
Right.
that. You can't do that. So the same folks that's hollering about this lady in Minnesota, I hope you were the same ones hollering about the little girl in Columbus, Ohio, the little black girl who was stealing alcohol, who got shot by the police when she took off and the police was in front of her. They said she was using the car as a weapon. Here's the thing,
Yeah.
twin, about that lady in Minnesota. Everybody got these stories to tell because of a 20-second TikTok. Everybody got stories. They know the whole story when they've only seen limited, and they don't even go for information. They don't even really go for information. They go for the information that'll fit the narrative that they need to believe. This lady had been out there all day in these protests. She was one of the leaders of keeping the ICE agents pent down, keeping the ICE agents from being able to maneuver in their vehicles. It was already bad outside in the snow.
Mhm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
she was part of the process of making it difficult for the ICE agents to move around and maneuver and to do the job they need to do. Now, if they ask you, they didn't told this lady to go home multiple times. Okay, but she's gonna do what she wants to do. All right. In a whole lot of y'all brains, this lady is nothing but white privilege. Somebody that's gonna do what they're gonna do, regardless of who tell them what to do and all that old shit, right? Ain't that white privilege? She just wanted to be who she wants. You can't tell me nothing. So she was guiding, she was the bullhorn, and she was playing the head leader of whatever's going on in them protests. They asked that lady multiple times to stop blocking traffic, block after block after block. And they finally got out of the car to address her. They asked her to get out of the car, and she refused to get out of the car. And she took off when agents was trying to get her out of the car. Just so happens that an agent was in front of her car, and he shot her because now that car becomes a weapon. I'm sorry that it happened. It didn't have to happen. But unfortunately, when you play those type of games, this is the punishment. Sometimes it's life or death. And this is exactly what happened. All right. So when you see a 20-second TikTok video, it don't give you the explanation. It don't explain everything that's going on. It didn't tell you what's been going on an hour or 2 hours before this situation. I'm sorry that the lady got beat, but I didn't see this much motherfucking. I didn't see this much from our community when the 11-year-old went up there. You know what they said? Well, she shouldn't have been in there stealing that alcohol. If she would have never went in there stealing alcohol and had baby seats, car seats all in her back seat in her car, she knew better than to go in there stealing alcohol. She knew better than to go in there doing all this. This lady knew better than to be out in the street blocking traffic and making it hard for the police to do what they needed to do. So if you're gonna make up an excuse, if you're not, this lady knew right from wrong as well. She just thought that nothing can happen to her if she do the same thing that somebody else do by using a car as a weapon.
So, when you tell you get back, man, get back and stuff. And I've seen them in action, and I was looking. I'm like, man, they really out here. Because why? You can go off TikTok and Facebook and everything, but if you go into that city, whether Cincinnati, Chicago, Cleveland, whatever, I want to see how they really getting down with these immigrants. I want to see how ICE getting down. And if you see it for yourself, you're like, man, they bogus, man. What is they doing up here? And people want to, especially in the chat and everything else, radio, they always try to, criticize, downplay. Well, it's Trump's fault, it's this and all that. But if you go there yourself, Wyatt, and see for yourself, then you'll know.
It's amazing.
They really getting down, man.
That's amazing. That's amazing to me. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, you know the story. How can you say how can you just criticize your judgment and say, oh, they wrong, and not go there for yourself and look for yourself, right? And see for yourself. Don't go off no TikTok and Facebook. Go there see for yourself. Because when they said them immigrants and all that was on 87, 79, and all through there, which they don't touch down over there, I had to see for myself. We had to stop like get ready to hit the E-way and everything. Next thing I know, hey, watch your car. Who's your ain't even speak a lick of English. They just pointing at your windshield and all. No, man, go ahead on. Old babies and all that strip out there, or babies and all that Mexican, man. Come on, man.
Well, I don't mean to be insensitive, because some people will think what we're talking about is insensitive. But let me just say this to you.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. It's insensitive to allow a bunch of people to come in your country with no plans for them, and you allow them to come in and they have to depend on your resources, which aren't really for them because they don't pay into the resource program. And then you turn around and you're mad at the people that's trying to get these people to get gone. You should have had a lot more sympathy for these people when they were on their way and when they were coming through the fences with no plan, with nowhere to go. And then you don't hold the people that allowed them to put themselves in harm's way. Listen, I'm telling y'all, my wife and I took a flight from Phoenix, Arizona, back to Cincinnati, Ohio. And there were two, I don't know if they were Mexican, Venezuelan, I don't know what they were, but they were Latin individuals. These two little young girls didn't speak English. They had a note in their hand. Y'all heard my story about that.
I remember you heard it. I remember you said that.
That's a real story. They had no purpose. They had nowhere to go. They were just trying to get to they were transferring from Cincinnati to a Chicago plane, going to Chicago. And I'm asking myself, I even told my wife, like, these people are they hungry? They don't speak English. You see what I'm saying? Like, where are they going? They don't have any money in their pocket. They don't have anything. Wow. So what are you setting up two little young girls to be able to do when they land where they going? Did you all have any sympathy for the young girls that was 12 and 13 years old that were getting impregnated and that was getting hit in the head and that were being used for sex trafficking? Have y'all seen California lately? Have you seen all of the women that are walking the street, all of the prostitution that's going on in Vegas and all that stuff right now? And it's a lot of Latin people coming who had come to this country. Y'all don't really pay attention to that type of shit. But what did you think But what did they think repercussions were going to be? Here go the thing. The black folks, they got the most. It ain't even y'all that I'm upset with. Okay. You little bullshit. Games all you. These saving these folks. I don't understand. I get where they coming from. Those are the people who need the Latino people. They need those Mexicans and those. They don't have no motherfucking sympathy for no Venezuelans nor no Mexicans. Because if they had
the white people,
yes, because if they did, they would have been down at that border giving them some kits, giving them some help. They would have been down there. And they would have been feeding them. They would have been down there with money to give these people in their pockets. They would have housed them. They would have done something other than look for the government to do it. It wasn't the government's job to house or feed immigrants coming over the border illegally. Now, here's the other thing, and I'm gonna let you finish it out. For all my people that think they part of the group that's doing the right thing, go talk to somebody and ask them if it's illegal, because I've heard some of your politicians say that it's not illegal to come to the country without permission. It absolutely is illegal. Now, the difference, some people say it's not a federal crime, and then some people say it's just a civil matter. Let me tell you the difference. And then y'all can take it wherever you want to take it to prove me wrong. The difference is, if you come to this country, and I've had to do this because I've traveled. Okay, I went to school. I went to Munich University. I couldn't just go to Munich University and stay. I was on a student visa. All right. If my student visa expires, now I'm in violation. Okay, so now I'm in the country illegally. Okay, but it's a civil matter because I had permission to be there. Now I violated something that allowed me to be there. Now it turns into a civil matter. Let's just say in America, it's the same thing, same work visa. It's a civil matter when you had permission to be here at one time. If you've never had permission to come to America and you cross into this country illegally, it is a federal crime. It is a federal crime. All right. So before y'all get to talking about all that old shit y'all want to believe, go fact check that. And then you tell me. So now you got a ton of people in this country on federal crime. And I didn't hear not one person say, well, if they ever go after these people, it could be tragedy. It could be a problem. People could lose their life. This could be a problem. You never said that. So if you really cared about these people, you would do what mothers and fathers do for their children. They try to do proactive shit. They try to do things and say things and put their people in better positions so tragedy won't hit them down the line. You see what I'm saying? And that's not what y'all doing. Y'all waiting for some tragedy to strike, and then you want to have something to say. But why aren't you mad at the administration that allowed this to happen? And we talked about it for 3.5, almost 4 years. Why ain't y'all mad at the people that allowed it to happen? How many people coming across the border right now illegally? And they were telling us that it couldn't happen. They were saying, no, we got to have certain policy in order for that to be shut down. The border can't just be shut down. Well, it is. It could have been that 4 years. That lady that lost her life, because y'all say what you want to say. I'd rather be talking about my community. I'd rather be talking about how that 11-year-old should be alive versus that lady in Minnesota. Call it what you want. Call it what you want. I'd rather be talking about how we should be fixing these 11-year-olds at the playground, how we need to be protecting them. I have no sympathy for somebody sitting in the middle of the street out there arguing with the police and taking off on them and all that old shit. That ain't in my wheelhouse. So you go ahead and finish up that conversation. I'll start talking when we talking about something that affects us. Go ahead, bro.
You said it right. You said earlier, you think it would have been worse if Cranley was the mayor of Cincinnati?
Absolutely.
Right now.
Would it have been worse? No, I think the conversation would be different.
You said what now?
I think the conversation would be different. Cranley didn't have the same circle. Cranley didn't have the same circle as this particular mayor. And you say you say that I ride with the mayor. I do. I ride with Cincinnati mayor because I understand
his chest move. I say his chest move and the people that's backing him.
Absolutely.
Okay, he moving it. But as I look at it, they don't want to take accountability of nothing, man. And then why it's right now in society in any city is no snitch rules. You are op or whatever. That's what. But as I look at it like this, they need to bring it back to the old way, whatever. Because when I was growing up, Wyatt, and I did my thing, I never fought on no nigga. I went by code, G code, whatever. I never fought on no nigga, told on none of it. But as I look at it, the big boys used to jump out, the Texans used to jump out like who murdered that, who got the drugs on such and all that. and they knew if you was bad, something like that, they be like, "Hey, we're gonna put this pack on you. You gonna tell us something." And I think Cincinnati should put fear in these people. Hey, who murdered that 11-year-old? You know something. Just scare them or whatever, something, man. Get it going. But people don't want to come out. Maybe this right here is a wake up call, man. If that white lady can go down there and scream at the city hall for her husband getting stabbed to death, hey, they can answer the black folk.
Man,
I hope they took notes and stuff for what happened yesterday.
Show me a black leader that's saying that right now. Show me the black leader in the city of Cincinnati who has the ear of the community who's saying exactly what you just said.
My bad. Why? I ain't gonna hold you up, fam. Nobody.
That's all I like to.
Nobody.
So
nobody.
the person
as I look at it, Wyatt, people downplayed. That's a stomping ground down there. I feel like pastors should stay in their place, and they messed up when they came into politics work. They should have just stayed at the pulpit.
They couldn't.
But I know that 501c3 and everything extra that came on that package deal. But if that's my community and I care about a community like we used to care about the community and the village and everything, I can't knock that man, what's his name, Bowman, for standing up. People, he's a mega. He did. No, that's his stomping ground out there.
Well, no.
Even Pastor Mingo came out there.
Well, check it. This is what make him MAGA. He ran on crime. So
he's a pastor.
Wait a minute. Hold on. He ran on crime that was happening in the community. At that time, people were downplaying crime. And then as soon as the election is won by the same person, now crime is an issue. It's such an issue that we need to raise taxes to fix it. 6 months ago, crime was not a problem. All right. 6 months, according to them, 6 months ago, crime was not a problem. They're just running on crime and saying.
He said this the same year, same time this year that crime was down. Ain't no gang. Remember that?
And I was being sarcastic. What I'm saying.
No, I know. Okay. I can read the room, man.
Okay. All I'm saying to you is 6 months ago, crime was not an issue. Feel me? Okay.
Yeah.
But now that I've won the race, now in order for this crime to go down, we got to start, we have to raise the taxes in order to fight crime.
So don't get me wrong for knocking you out the box. So yesterday or day before, when he said raising the tax, what was the income tax for Hamilton County, or what taxes is he raising?
I believe Hamilton County income tax.
Raising it for the crime, right?
Crime and poverty. And now I gotta give my guy the benefit of the doubt, okay? Because I remember him saying something some time ago, Twin, about curfew for food trucks, and I think I was one of the ones that came on the air. Well, I was this year. Well, yeah, 25. And I was one of the ones that came on the air that said that's bullshit. I don't think it's ever going to happen. Sometimes politicians just say things out loud and they try to get a feedback from the public, and they may say it. It don't necessarily mean it's going to happen. And the food truck curfew never happened. I say the same thing about this income tax. But the fact that you would even utter that out of your mouth and say that it's a possibility that we may have to go to a higher income tax because of crime and poverty, that just is ridiculous to even use that now. Because 6 months ago, you said crime wasn't a problem in the city of Cincinnati. We don't have gangs. It's not a big thing. And not only that, your gatekeepers was talking about how they just using crime as a tool, as a it's not a real thing. I mean, crime happens, but it ain't that bad. They just trying to act like it is. Then if it's not that bad, then why are we so focused on it now? Why do we have 11-year-olds dying and 12-year-olds dying and young men dying at their graduations, being shot in the park at Withrow? If it's not that bad, how could you not? How all of a sudden is it bad now when we've been talking about it all this time and it's been downplayed by the megaphone people of the city? And what I mean by that is your lieutenants and their waves are reaching, certain people. I'm just saying it's hypocritical to now turn around and say we're going to probably have to raise income taxes in the city because of crime and poverty. Okay, I tell you what you do. Explain this to me. We need a project manager in the city of Cincinnati, not necessarily a city manager. I'm not suggesting remove that job. I challenge the city of Cincinnati's leadership to put a project manager in place so they can do a breakdown, an analogy. Let's see how many poverty are impoverished programs you have in the city of Cincinnati, and let's see how many of those programs you're actually funding, and see if some of that funded money might help knock off that tax base that you're trying to raise.
Yeah.
You understand what? Because, like I said, Black Fox was here. I hate to say it, I done told her to her face, it ain't no nastiness or none of that. Black Fox and I had a conversation, and I said, you was just a folder, sis. You was just a manila folder. Them folks, them 501, them nonprofit organizations got your name. They put your name on a folder. Your son was a case for them. You became a case for them. You became a name on their books so they can now get funding for the next year. Wow. And I hate that truth, but that's what happens. A lot of these programs are just in place to look like they're being effective, but they're really not. And my thing is, why don't you bring a project manager in, break it down just like any other business? See, when the city start running itself like a business, like it's supposed to. See, as long as you have free money, which is called tax money, you can run a business in the ground. And you you can run it in the ground, but you have unlimited resources when it comes to money because you got that tax base. You understand what I'm saying? So if you get that tax base on a constant basis and you don't have anybody to answer to, you don't have a board of trustees to answer to. That's why, you the perfect person on the phone right now, twin. That's why Brandon Johnson is going through what he's going through right now in Chicago. I don't know if you know this, twin. I don't know if the audience know this. Look it up. Brandon Johnson is having the hardest time in the world right now in the city of Chicago. You know why? Because the Black preachers are coming to the forefront saying the Black community here in Chicago is being overtaxed in property taxes. Now, there's a long story, but I'm going to make it as short as I possibly can. The long portion of this is businesses in Chicago took like a 39% cut in taxes, in property taxes, where now residential people have taken 100, 110, 120% raise in their property taxes. If y'all don't believe me, just go look it up, okay? The reason why the Black pastors are now starting to Voltron or whatever you want to call it around the mayor of Chicago is because the mayor of Chicago spent their money on migration, on immigration, illegal immigration. And now he's turning to the Black community, and I'm talking about Black areas of Chicago for those homeowners to make up that money, and they not having it. They want to know, why is it that you could go out to these suburbs and get money out of those properties, but you're doing this thing, and here it is. It's a combination of the mayor, and it's a combination of the governor, because y'all know the auditor's office actually does the tax evaluations. The reason why, and I'm gonna break it down very short, very crispy, and as clear as I possibly can. The reason why Black folks' property went up is because the auditors seen that the property value, you can take the property value up because it's a residential. They went to the commercial spaces and said, hey, business is slow in Chicago. Now, you probably know this more than anybody other than myself, twin. You see all them dormant buildings downtown Chicago now? You see how empty? You see how empty Chicago is downtown? You know what that does to property.
Ghost town,
exactly. Man. You know what that, and see, everybody that go there just to travel, just to be on, I'm in Chicago. You know what they do? They just go to Michigan Ave down there, twin. You know that. Yep. They just go down to the tourist area. But go around the corner, go ride the subway around. You don't want to go on the subway. I take that back. Just walk the subway toppings, because that's what my wife, we love doing it. Just walk the subway toppings. Look at all the little businesses, the little businesses that used to be down there, little barbershops and the little pony kegs, all that shit is all gone. So what does that do to the property value in Chicago? It reduces it. So when you reduce the value of the property, now it has a lower tax base. So now when your tax base is cut because of the value, it looks like the rich are getting richer because the businesses down there, all the businesses down there getting tax breaks, but the people that live in the houses paying more. The reason why is because of the policies that you have in Chicago that's kicking the business's ass. And I don't mean the policies that the charge the rich more. It's the policies that you have on crime. It's the policies that you have in that city that is preventing people from running operable businesses in Chicago. It's making people want to leave Chicago. The businesses are leaving, and it's leaving empty buildings. The empty buildings are now going down in value because no one wants to be there. That's why you see some tax breaks in some of these properties. And you see people in our community paying more property taxes because, hey, Twin, I hear something in the background there. Mainly because of this reason here. It's operable property. Somebody lives in there. When you have a tax base, the tax base is what has to pay for your, for the community, has to pay for your schools and your policing. That's what property taxes are used for. So when there's no business there to pay these taxes, who do you think all that burden falls on? The property owners.
Exactly.
That's what happens. Now, I challenge, like I said, the city of Cincinnati to get a project manager. Get someone in who says, I'd like to see how many actual programs are put in place that can actually that we have in place and that we're funding, that we're giving money to, and they are in positions. They're doing the same thing that if you start charging higher income tax, that money is going to go towards doing what in poverty? That money is going to go towards doing what in crime? And see if you don't already have something receiving money that's supposed to be doing that. See if you have a 501c or somebody like that already collecting money that could be doing that instead of.
So why with all that money allocating they talking about, right? You know the numbers on there yet? Do you?
No.
Off real?
No.
Okay, all the money they allocate. So why? What is it? Funding the police or it funding more cameras, or what's the solution on that?
I'm sorry, repeat it, Twin. You said
I'm saying the money that they allocating for, they giving, we got to pay taxes into this or whatever. He hiking the taxes up. So the money he allocating or whatever his goal is, the mayor is. So what is it for, the fund the police or more cameras?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say that if this happens, and it's just an if, because I don't necessarily know if it's going to happen. I think he was thinking out loud. And I think the reaction from the people were probably going to push this idea to the back of the burner. I don't think it's going to happen. It could. I don't know. But the money would be used for when he says for I don't want to. What was it? Was it safety? Okay. It was safety and poverty. It was for safety. So I would think that the money, if you can collect the extra $400,000 a year, whatever the number may be, it'll go towards putting cameras up. It would go towards maybe going towards the police department, maybe bringing in more police officers, whatever the money, whatever they want to add to the, what the police department need, whether it's cameras or physical bodies in the walks. I don't know. But as far as poverty, it's probably going to be something that's going to, it's probably going to be something in the realms of, soup kitchens or drop-in center funding or something of that nature. It could even be something that would be exciting. And they say, well, we're going to allocate $500,000 to home ownership. They always come up with these key words to make shit sound like, yeah, we need that in the city. We need that. Yeah, we can use it. And when you do stuff like that, it always pushes back on the citizens. I'm telling y'all, all that tax the rich shit, all that really means is tax the working class people. That's what it's going to come down to. Look at Chicago right now. That's all you got to look at.
Hey, you think since no tell, no snitch rules, you're a op type situation, you think since people don't want to come forth, you think that we just go put this on cruise control until the black folks come together and start, telling, then we'll take it off cruise? So you think that's implemented right now?
You know what?
How them white folks thinking right now?
You know what, Twin? I'm about to say something that's going to shock the world. I'm going to say something that shocked the world. I think that when people say that black people don't snitch in the community, I think that's bull. I think that's bullshit. I think that people tell a lot more than people know about. And what I mean by that is that ain't nobody saying shit, ain't nobody saying nothing. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I
Because
don't
you talking about $5,000 Crime Stoppers?
it
Oh,
don't
they
even
tell.
bro. It don't even take the money, but of course the money is a great incentive.
Wait till
Black
take like
folks,
a baby mama or something. That's
black
mad
folks.
at you.
Let me say this to y'all, to us as a community. I don't care if a black person tell us this. I don't care who tell us this. I don't care if our leader, your best leader in the city, tell you this. It's a lie. When they say that nobody's telling on who's doing these murders and who's doing these killings. Now, his mama might not be telling on him. His uncle might not be telling on him. But everybody's seen something and everybody say something. I think we need to put more pressure on those that if they had the information, they would do more. Until there's the pressure on them to force them. Let me just say this to you. What did the white lady do when her husband got stabbed down and over the Rhine?
Went down there to City
Did you see
Hall
the difference in
and
the pressure?
start singing like
Did you see the
Elvis.
difference in the pressure? Did you see
Yeah.
the difference in the pressure? Did you see how they moved something and they did something different? And that
Move
lady
that
got
meter real quick. Hey, we're gonna put curfew on all you niggas.
all I'm
That's what
saying to you.
That's what they say.
If that same thing happened in Mason, Ohio, or
Mm-hmm.
in Westchester, Ohio, Butler County, if that same thing happened where they had different leadership,
Sarah Jones don't play there.
it would be a different outcome.
Yeah.
The ability to capture who they looking for, to get
Yeah.
information, all that stuff would be handled totally different.
Yep.
It would be handled totally different. Now, I'm trying to tell y'all, and I stand on this. Now, I'm not saying it gets people what they looking for, but I believe, I know for a fact that people snitched, people tell. But here's what happens. I seen, matter of fact, let me just go back to that. I'm gonna rewind just a little bit. I seen a white dude talk to Cincinnati City Council, a month or two ago, back in October, maybe November. And he said, look, in our community, guess where he lives? Over the Rhine now. You know, they coming down over the Rhine, they taking these buildings, they taking over the neighborhood. They said, look, we got it on cell phone. We know who it is. We see the car. We got the license plate number. We got a face on the video. Why haven't y'all done anything yet? That's a white dude who said that to city council. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, when we start doing that same thing, we might get a different outcome. We're not doing that. But I'm telling y'all that there are people that are actually telling what's going on, and we're still getting the same results. We're still not getting the same. We're still not getting the cameras up in the air. We're still not getting people taken in custody for killing the 12. The community is downtown. These young boys are down there calling a killer the killer man. They call it, he's walking the streets and they calling him the killer man. And I don't see anybody stepping up saying anything about that. Like, I hear the streets talk about it, but I don't hear anybody else talking about it.
I think it's gonna be a arrest coming soon, though. Wyatt is killed. It is. It's coming, Wyatt. Hey, Wyatt, what's on the agenda today, man? Other topic. Did you play that Killer Mike you said yesterday?
No, I didn't. I was gonna.
What's on your agenda today?
Well, I really wanted to talk about that, but damn, twin, I'm already damn near 2 hours into the program.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm chopping it up. What, you got a 4 o'clock meeting or something, man?
No. Yeah, I do have a 4 o'clock.
And I was gonna hold back, but I was too sensitive and soft for this conversation. Cause man, I felt dude pain, and you start talking. I'm like, why not know what he's talking about? And man, it's crazy, man, that we gotta, they pay attention to that lady being shot by ICE, but you got 11-year-old mama just heartbroken, and the guy 2 years ain't still recovered from his son's death. So it's hard, man. It's hard and everything.
Well,
and people want to keep playing games and saying other stuff out their mouth. Rex, man, I don't know why. I pray about God lead me to the right direction. If I gotta help somebody or, take a stand on something, man, I will. But twin always for the people, regardless of anything. I'm
Well,
always for the people,
all I can
man,
say
but I
is
ain't
this,
go.
bro.
Huh?
All I can say is this about the shooting in Minnesota. What did y'all
Yeah.
expect? It was just a matter of time. See, here's the thing. You start talking about the shooting, here comes the riots, and you don't have to talk about all that old corrupt shit that's going on in Minnesota. The $8 billion that's up in fraud and all the shit that's going on. You don't have to
Then
talk about that.
Somalis up there. All that.
Now the politicians that were being looked at for all this fraud that was going on, now they coming out looking. They was in the back of the bus back and they crazy and shit while this corruption talk was going on. Nobody was coming out defending it at all. But now all of a sudden, here come this little lady to get shot by the ICE people, and now they coming out talking about how this administration is disruptive and blah blah. We ain't got to talk about the
Wyatt,
fraud
did you
and shit
listen to the
anymore.
mayor though?
The mayor of Cincinnati or the mayor of
Minnesota?
Yeah, I heard him. I heard him.
He was crashing out. What?
Well, he sound like
Get
Twin.
the F out of town.
He sound like Twin. He said, I wouldn't want feds in my city either if I was running the rackets that they running. I wouldn't want the feds in my city either, because now we don't have to talk about my shit at the daycares.
I ain't know Minnesota was like. I got people up there, but dang, I didn't know they was getting down like that.
Well, let me say this to you. I don't necessarily blame the governor. All right, I don't blame the governor. That's when it gets to the politics.
Man, he had to let them in too, man. Now he just he got caught and he was gonna run. They set that man down. He said he ain't gonna run now.
Well, yeah,
he got caught up in the game.
He really can't. He really can't run now because people go back and look at your track record and look at what you allowed to happen. So no, he can't really run. It'll look ridiculous. Yeah. I think the Democrats told him it's over. Plus, didn't none of y'all know him until Kamala Harris brought him to the
exactly. We will. Let's go waltz. Let's go waltz.
Well, and that's no problem. I don't have a problem. You got to learn. You got to get to know somebody some kind of way. I don't have a problem that she brought him to the table and all that. All I'm saying is I don't think she really thought about who she was getting, what he was involved in, or what he was allowing to happen in Minnesota. I think the George Floyd thing was kind of blanketing all the other issues that was going on in Minnesota.
Why they know, man?
Well, of course they knew, but
she knew.
Listen, all I'm telling you is that city, and yeah, I've had several stories about Minnesota because I go to Minnesota quite a bit. I was going for years. I was going there because at the Armory they have the fights. I was going there at least 3-4 times a year in Minnesota. It's a nice city. It's a chill city.
Did you ever make it all the way through Mall of America?
Oh yeah, Mall of America.
You all the way around?
Yeah, it ain't that big.
It's big.
I mean, it's big, but
I'm probably halfway.
I mean, I didn't get through it in an hour. I mean, it's
so much. Just saying.
Yeah, you could go. You could go in the morning and be done by the afternoon. Yeah. And, as long as you don't stop. There's so much there to do. As long as you're not there to do some things, you ain't gonna never.
It's been about 30 years or something.
Yeah, Mall of America is a nice spot. It's not as nice as it used to be because it's older now. But it's a nice spot, man. They got a lot of good stuff. But here's what I like to say about Minnesota. Now they don't have to talk about the fraud and shit. Now we could talk about ICE agents shooting somebody that ran a car at them. That's what it's going to. You always, politics is like the wind. It's like when the wind blow this way, we got to look for a favor in it. When the wind blow that way, we got to look for a favor in that. And it works with Democrats and Republicans. That's why I don't like politics, because people chill until they get an opportunity. And then when an opportunity happens, that opportunity is supposed to blow the other stuff away from what we've been talking about, the focus.
Exactly.
Whatever we focus on now, sit back, chill, let it blow. It'll blow away. Wait, some shit gonna happen. ICE just came in town. They gonna do something to somebody, and we're gonna be able to ride that wave. And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. And I'm gonna tell y'all this when it comes down to the Somalians. Say what you want to say, but y'all already know. A month. I don't know how long ago it was, but y'all know maybe a month or two ago, I had this conversation about Somalians being in Columbus, Ohio. And I'm telling y'all, you cannot look. If you blame Waltz, you're going to have to blame DeWine, because they got the same shit. It may not be daycares. I don't know how they funneling this money through the Somalian shit. I don't know if it's just daycares. I don't know what's going on. But if you blame, is it Tim Waltz? the guy up there.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
blame
It's
Tim
more than
Walsh for what's
daycare
going
stuff.
on in Minnesota, get ready to blame Mike DeWine in Ohio for the same thing, because I'm telling you, the same stuff is happening. So if you want to go back and blame the Minnesota mayor, or I'm sorry, governor, you're going to have to go back and blame your Republican governor as well.
Yeah. That's all I got, Wyatt.
That's it? You sure?
Yeah, I
All right,
think,
brother.
you know, I just get to touch down on and everything. It was a sensitive topic. What you had brought up and everything.
All
I
right,
agree
I
with
appreciate it.
you finally stated. I can't agree. 2026, I can't agree with. No, I'll just play.
All right, brother.
All right, Wyatt.
All right, well, thank you. I
All right, man.
appreciate you, engaging with us today.
Yep.
All right, bro. Bye-bye. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's just funny how, it's pretty obvious that people are using the Venezuela thing, the oil take over, or all that. They're using it to set a narrative. I mean, to fill in the blanks of some things that we need to talk about now, so we don't have to focus on other things. I don't know how many people actually know how the oil game even got started in Venezuela. I don't know if y'all really know how that started, but maybe you should look up the beginning of how oil and who built that infrastructure. All of that happened in Venezuela, and get some history of what's going on before you think it's just a snatch and grab situation. Just get some information. That's all you got to do. Let me go back to the phone lines before I get out of here. What time is? Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, Wyatt. It's Shelly.
Hey, Shelly, how you doing?
I'm
You
okay.
said
This is my
Shel-
new number. I dropped my other number in the water. So the childcare stuff, right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm
Hello?
sorry. I was drinking. I'm here. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So
I'm sorry.
Mike DeWine and his, Rhino buddies created a multi-system youth program. Okay. So they created policy that protects everyone involved. That gives basically everyone immunity. And in the revised codes, it'll even say, you're supposed to follow this guideline, A, B, C, but and then they'll put in there. But if you don't, per code, yada yada, you can't be sued, right? You can't be held liable. They throw that into the policy. These are secret courts, jobs and family services, child care, residential, foster care, group homes, mental health, recidivism, sobriety, all of it's connected. Okay, you have the agency, the commissioners, the prosecutors, the magistrates, all involved. They all know. It's no secret. I've been following this shit for over 10 years. Okay, you have the Medicaid waivers, which is in-home care, right? Something like 11,000 people in Hamilton County have a waiver. Those waivers don't get used. That's pre-allotted money. I need 2 years to meet, Alice Pavey?
Okay.
Alice Pavey was the superintendent of Department of Developmental Services years back. She created the Alice's House or whatever.
Okay.
For 2 years, I tried to get a hold of her and meet with her. They took me into a back room, right? A back room with no windows to let me see the numbers. I was like, okay, in my head, we're talking $200 million that's not being spent on special needs children and adults. Where does it go? It goes to the general fund. From the general fund, it goes to the stadium, the tampon program, this, that, whatever. And then from there, nobody cares. Here's an example. I watch every commissioner meeting, right? Look up every single nonprofit and look at their tax info. There's 3 kids in Arkansas or something. The county gave them $900,000 for these 3 kids. That's $900,000 on top of the Title IV money, on top of Medicaid, on top of child care, and on top of school money, on top of benefits, and on top of child support. They're extorting our children. I've been saying this for years, and I keep saying they're especially targeting Black children. And people are like, oh, you just don't want the Black
So who's
kids to
getting
get
this money?
programs.
Shelly, let me ask you a question because I'm interested to hear it. When you say they are extorting our kids, who are you referencing to? Who's actually receiving the check?
The nonprofits. Okay, so when you look up the nonprofits, for example, the Lighthouse, right?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I told the story on either here or E-Man show. Okay, I was listening to the scanner. A parent called in and said her daughter was raped at the lighthouse, and the lighthouse told her they can't call in rapes. A parent has to do it. The lighthouse gets so many millions of dollars. When you look up their tax info, they give their millions to other nonprofits who give them to the politicians. They lobby, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's a money laundering scheme. There's a bounty on every single child's head in the state of Ohio. It is a bipartisan operation. I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. I've looked this up for years. And yes, they mostly target Black kids, but they also target the disabled. When I said years ago that the fucking Veterans Service Commission had hundreds of millions of dollars of unspent money. That means money not going to services. Guess who was the chick that was the head of it? What was it? Not Iris Rowley, Victoria Parks, I think was her name.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then the next year they hire a bunch of people like what's his name? The other radio guy.
Who?
The other radio guy.
Mr. Ware?
The Buzz.
Who?
The Buzz. What's his name? Lincoln Ware.
Mr. Ware.
Then, right? Lincoln Ware gets put on the commission, right? Okay, so now all of a sudden they put all these people on the commission, but where's that money going? It gets redistributed into the general fund, and then from there it goes to all the nonprofits and the NGOs. Every homeless person, you've got multiple NGOs billing on that person, multiple therapy billing on that person, multiple transportations billing on that person. My son is special needs. The county had Africans housed with my special needs son, okay? Africans. My son's part immigrant. It's not about being racist or against immigration. First of all, it's not safe, okay? It's not safe. They're fresh off the boat, don't speak English, aren't part of our culture, aren't even part of our neighborhood or anything. It's a racket. I'm telling you, the city's in on it. The county is in on it. They put Black people in charge because as soon as you go to question them, oh, you're a racist for questioning Summer Dumas. Summer Dumas is a snake, okay? She is a snake from here to there. I'm telling you, she's a snake. Jeff Aludo, the county administrator. He's not elected. He is appointed. He's got like a lifetime appointed position. Right? So they contract with all these attorney firms. You can't find the contracts on the government salaries. And it's so dirty and it's so corrupt. And they target the most vulnerable populations. Like, it's so disgusting. And they do it because you cannot question them because they're Black or they're a woman. You see what I'm saying? Why we have an Indian mayor, an Indian coroner. The coroner is the highest paid position in the government, and then we have an Indian like treasurer or whatever. Like they're not our people. Okay, I'm serious. They're not our people.
So where is this money going, Shelly? Right, Shelly. Where's this money going? When you say that it's being, redistributed or it's being funneled, where is it going? Who's getting this money?
Well, the NGOs, the nonprofits. Okay,
I get it. And
the Lighthouse, right? Women helping women. You NECO, freaking any of these things that the programs. Any of these programs get the money, and then from there, nobody follows it. Nobody cares. So it goes back into the hands of the.
Let me give you the benefit of your argument, because I don't know if you have any proof of what you're saying, but let me just playing devil's advocate. Let's just say that what you're saying, let's just say everything you're saying is true. One thing that I do know is that NGOs, once these nonprofit organizations get this money, they do have an unlimited amount that they can contribute to a campaign. I do know that, but unlike us, like they'll track how much money I give to a campaign. But a nonprofit organization can turn around and support the things that support them, the politicians that support them. So I will give you that part in the argument where if that was going to happen, if what you're saying is happening, that would be a very strategic way of getting money pushed back into your campaign. Okay, I will give you that. But I don't know if what you're saying, Shelly, I'm not trying to discredit you, but I don't know if what you're saying is true. Are false, because I know that some of these places have to advocate for this money. These 501c3s, they don't get their money. Some of them get their money from the city. Some of them get it from the state. So are these 501c3s, are these the ones getting it from the city or getting it from the state? When
They
you
get it from both. Okay, like they get it from the feds. They get it from the county. When the county, like when you watch the county meetings, and they at the end of every meeting, they're like, "Oh, we need to give the prosecutor's office $50,000 for a truck, or $50,000 for carpet," or like, okay, Hillcrest, right? Hillcrest was shut down because they were raping the kids. I can't remember the name of the nonprofit right this second. Okay, right. And then they shut down because of that, but they're not opening because they're remodeling, but the county keeps throwing money at them from the general fund. So when it goes from the general fund, it's basically never followed from there. But the nonprofits also fund other nonprofits. That's the thing, right? For example, childcare. There's Ohio Child Care Resource Referral Association. It's a nonprofit. The state of Ohio gave them $800 million. I looked up everything that they gave money to. Tell me why 2 women in Cincinnati in-home childcare got over $500,000 each
to run the programs, to run their
to
individual
run their
programs.
daycares.
Okay.
Yes.
And let me ask you, if that's what you're saying is true, them getting their $500,000 to run a daycare, is there a problem with that?
Yeah, because everywhere else got like 20,000. Who do they know? It's a small home. You don't. I mean, why would you need $500,000 to grow?
Shelly, you sound like you're pretty much on stuff like this. I remember talking to you some time ago. It's been some months, and I thank you for engaging with us again. I really do. But let me just ask you this, because I don't know. Okay, this isn't my wheelhouse, to be honest with you. Let me ask you this: when you're dealing with 501(c)(3)s and nonprofit organizations, and they're getting money from the state and the city, is that public information?
You have to dig for it. You have to go into the tax info.
But is it public information?
Like provided by the government? No.
Well, okay, so the spending that the city does on their budget, is that public information?
Well, I mean, Todd Zinser does his FOIA requests and everything. I mean, it's public information to where if you dig for it, it's out there. But like,
so now let me ask you this: where did it stop? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just trying to get a clear understanding. When you say these 2 ladies got $500,000 apiece, at that point, where does it stop of you being able to get the information? At that point, now you're dead in the water. You can't get any more any more information, or you just know where the 500,000 went. Now it's over. I'm dead in the water. I can't get any more information because it's been distributed. Is that what?
Well, here's how I find it. So I look up the nonprofit that got the $800 million. They name off who they give money to.
Right.
Then I looked up all the 400 names they give money to. Mm-hmm. Then the 2 that caught my eye, which is the 500,000, because I was particularly looking at Cincinnati. Then I look up their information. Okay. If they're a nonprofit, then you can look up their information and see where they give it to from there.
Okay, but now you can't look up what they actually need the money for, or what what the 500,000 is for. It's just for operating costs, right? That's it.
Right.
That's
right. It'll say operating costs. Yes.
Okay. All right. I was just curious because that's not my thing. I'm not a nonprofit organization guy. I understand how nonprofits and NGOs, I understand how that stuff rolls, and I understand that I don't want to ever be in it.
But here's the kicker though. Okay. So when I look up all these nonprofits, they get access to our school children. Unfettered access. So when you read the nonprofits, like Keeping Cincinnati Beautiful, right? They're going into the schools. And when you look up the number of children they help, there ain't that many kids. Like Hamilton County JFS is like, oh, we serve 1.1 million kids. There ain't a million kids in Hamilton County. You see what I'm saying? You got every nonprofit is like, oh, we served 19,000 Cincinnati public kids. Well, we also served 8,000. There ain't that many kids.
Okay.
When you look at them all, they're not getting parental consent when they're in the schools doing the LGBTQ, doing the HIV, mental health. Okay. So how many nonprofits are going into each school that are accessing our children without getting parental consent? They're doing like online therapies, like Mind Peace is in the schools doing online therapy, billing Medicaid. So it's Medicaid fraud. It's all kinds of fraud on every level, but you can't complain because then they're like, oh, you just don't want the kids to get services.
Let me ask you, that's happening in the state of Ohio, correct?
It's happening in Ohio, Hamilton County, Cincinnati.
Okay. So now, would you look back at that and say that that's probably Mike DeWine's? He's the overseer of this, and you would blame him for allowing this to happen?
Yeah. He told me why DeWine has an entire school district in Haiti, not a school, an entire school district. He also has his kids have foundations in Cincinnati. Like, I mean, come on,
now,
like
Shelley,
it's such a racket.
let me just say this: the majority. I haven't seen anyone. So I shouldn't even say majority, but I haven't seen anyone in the chat. Now, don't hang up. Don't hear me out, okay, Shelley? I haven't seen anyone in the chat that supports what you're saying. Okay.
Of course they don't, because they hate the messenger.
Okay, wait a minute. Trust me. I've been in their seat before. I know exactly how you feel and whatever. I'm not saying what you're saying is true, but I just want to let you know the lack of support. No one is actually believing what you're saying. But now I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And I think that if you maybe incorporate some of this into your argument, you might get maybe a little bit more support, or at least someone wanting to kind of look into it the way you see it. I'm not saying that they will. But if you look at what's going on in Minnesota, folks, what Shelley is saying is not that far off. I think the reason why you don't want to agree with her, or you can't really see it, is because it's people locally, the names that you're familiar with, the programs that you heard of before, the Women Helping Women. Oh no, I've dealt with them. They would never. You see what I'm saying? When you have some type of association with things, you sometimes don't feel like they're capable of doing some of the things that they may be accused of doing. The reason why I asked Shelley if she feels that Mike DeWine would be as responsible as Tim Walz in Minnesota is because I think, quite honestly, there is a huge racket in the 501c3 nonprofit organizations. Now, I don't know if it's what Shelley is talking about, because I don't know how those rackets function. The only thing Shelley has been able to do for you guys who all disagreeing with her, the only thing she's been able to do is run down a chain of command or a line of how this thing is working. No one's been able to tell you that in Minnesota yet, but we know for a fact that there's fraud going on in Minnesota, and they're using child care, they're using health care, they're using Somalians, they're using people to be able to make these things happen. Now what you got to do is find out where all that money is going. It's going somewhere, okay? It's going somewhere. So take a breath, y'all. If what Shelley is saying, it possibly could line up like what's going on in Minnesota. And
worse.
Well, wait a minute, because I think there's a lot going on in Columbus. I think Columbus is doing the same thing that Minnesota is doing. Okay, that's just my personal opinion, because for the last 4 years, I've been going to Columbus quite a bit. Okay, and I just think that there's some corruption going on up there. I've always thought that a lot of these nonprofit organizations was the way you funnel money, because you got to understand, people know the game. They know that those are companies that are unregulated by the government. And it's almost like the best way in the world to funnel money to an organization or to a politician or somebody that, because, you have to keep up with how much money. I can only give a politician so much money a year. But an NGO, like these nonprofit organizations, can cut them a $500,000 check. See what I'm saying? They can funnel money a lot easier than the private citizen can, or a regular business can. And I think that people need to start paying attention. I know y'all don't like Shelley. I can tell by the comments. And I'm not saying that what Shelley, who she's incorporating in her arguments, or who she's, you drop some names, and I'm not sure that it's cool to be dropping names unless we have facts or have proof that these people are involved. But I think the tunnels lead to the same place, from Minnesota to Columbus, Ohio. And I think there's going to be some other things that will be discovered based on the investigations that's going on in Indiana. I'm sorry, in Minnesota. So, Shelly, I'm not going to say that you're 100% wrong. I just think that you may be arguing and be making a point to people that just about what you're talking about, and the research is just not going to be on their mind. It's not going to be that. So that's why I was suggesting to you, why don't you deep dive into, do your research and be able to put somebody's name on what you're talking about versus putting somebody's name on it out of speculation.
It's not speculation. I've been doing this for over a decade. I've lived in Cincinnati for 17 years. Okay. I have a 19-year-old special needs son who went to Cincinnati Public. I sued Cincinnati Public. I've been following the money. I've been saying the same shit.
Did you win
for
that lawsuit?
Ever and ever. I follow the money.
Shelly.
I look at all the names, at all the nonprofits. They overlap. When you look at the treasurer, the CEO, the this to that. I've
Shelly,
looked at the jobs programs. I talk to the kids in the neighborhoods.
Shelly.
I mean, yeah.
Did you win your lawsuit?
Well, I got a settlement agreement, and then they retaliated against me, but whatever.
Wait a minute, you got a settlement, so they wanted it to go away.
I mean, we had an agreement, like they were supposed to do something, and then COVID happened, and then other stuff happened.
Did you sign an NDA?
What?
Did you sign an NDA?
I mean, no, I don't think so, but I wouldn't. I didn't even want to settle, but I hired Carla Loon Leader, who's also in on the grip.
Okay, now see, here's where the thing happens. You can't just discredit everybody. If you won, if they closed you out of settlement, I quite frankly believe, there's a strong possibility that maybe you had a victory on your hands, or maybe the amount of money you was going for was not worth the trouble for them, and they just went. It could go any way.
No. I didn't sue for money. I sued because it's called an independent education plan, like for my son, to accommodate my son, and then if they didn't accommodate him, they were supposed to do certain things. I don't discredit everybody.
Okay, no.
That makes sense.
People. That makes sense. You sued for a what? What did you say?
For accommodations, like if they didn't follow
people do that. Accommodation lawsuits. I get it. I had a person that sued Metropolitan Housing. They didn't win a dime. They just won. One of my best friends, we grew up in Laura Homes, and Laura Homes and Lincoln Courts never had any ramps for wheelchairs ever. And then my buddy's mom was in a wheelchair, and she ended up winning a lawsuit against Metropolitan Housing, but she didn't win any compensation. There was no money. It was just, wheelchair ramps. They had to accommodate. That's what those are called, accommodation lawsuits.
There's laws, there's federal laws.
I get that. I wish you would have told me that at the beginning, because my mind was somewhere else. Because if you would have won compensation, if you would have won a civil lawsuit, or not won it, but if they would have closed you out, that would be you would have a different argument from me. I would look at this a little bit different. Shelly, I know I sound like I'm being a little defensive to your point. I'm not. I'm just trying to.
No, I'm not. It's fine. It doesn't bother me at all, because I know what I'm talking about. I would never lie about. I care about the children. I care about our money. There's 4,000 homeless Cincinnati public students. I mean, No, I don't care. It's fine. I'm used to it. No, I'm used to it. I don't care, because
here's the thing.
In the end, I'm right.
Here's the thing, Shelly. Let me give you a little piece of advice. Peaceful piece of advice. Shelly, I've been that guy that's been talking to this audience for 5 years. It'll be 6 years in March. And I've said a lot of things it's hard for people to believe. And what you have to do sometimes is not be, you got to get your information out there, right? But you got to align the information up so when something happens, you can say, see, I told you so. Okay. And what I mean by that is, I think you might be onto something with this thing going on in Minnesota. I think the answers to your prayers is actually what's going on in Minnesota. You need to deep dive into how the money is moving in Minnesota, and it might help you explain. You already explaining what you're explaining, but you can't attach things in a position where people are believing you. Okay, because you said Treehouse, you said some names, and I don't think people ready to hear that type of stuff. I think you gotta put somebody in a position where they look bad because of some spending or something's going on. You got to be able to. The easiest thing for me, to be honest with you, Shelly, the easiest thing in the world is a paper trail. So anybody that's investigating something, if you can put the proper paper trail together, then you become believable. In my case, I never had to put a paper trail together for what I do on this show. I've always had to put an idea in people's mind of what's going on, and then tell them how it'll be exposed if such and such happened. And then when such and such happens, then the way that I tried to tell them what was going on, it actually happens. Now I'm credible. Some people still don't believe what I'm saying. And it's been years, and I've constantly told them what was going to happen, and it's happened that way. But Shelly, all I'm telling you is this: you need a paper trail. You need to be able to show, because I know what you're saying is real. Maybe not going to the places that what you're talking about, but I know how NGOs get their money. I know how these programs get this money and how they funnel it to different places, but I can't put the names and the people that you put on the air. I can't vouch for that's how it's going in the city of Cincinnati. I can't build it like that yet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's happening. I mean, Elon Musk has got it. It's called Operation Buckeye, not ICE, but they're already looking at the child care centers in Columbus. There's Mahek Cook and some other guy and Walter Kerr. There's already people in Ohio doing what they were doing in Minnesota, and already Ohio, DeWine and them found over $20 million of child care fraud so far in 2026. So in Columbus.
But you know what? I don't think that okay, let me just say this to you. I need to know the details of this childhood fraud. I mean, what was it? Child what?
Child care.
Child care.
Child care center. Yeah.
Yeah. I would have to see the details, of the child care fraud, because child care fraud could come from so many different directions. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's somebody up in the upper room. It's just like welfare fraud. Welfare fraud could be a high level crime, or it can be a ground level crime. And I'm just saying, because somebody accuses Shelly of welfare fraud doesn't mean that she has a big ass program backing her up and we're running millions of dollars through Shelly. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It could just mean Shelly is getting 3 welfare checks because she in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana, which you can walk to those 3 states within hours of each other. You could be getting welfare from 3 different states being Shelly. That doesn't mean that Shelly has this big team of welfare fraud and there's a politician behind it. It doesn't necessarily mean that.
Well, no, what they do is they put their people at every level of the investigation process, right? Like you got your people that are at the local level and at the state level and, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, did you see where the UN Somali guy has a home healthcare business in Cincinnati who was busted for Medicaid fraud?
There's no doubt. You could sit here and talk to you blue in the face, Shelly, trying to convince me of something that I already know is happening. I already know what's happening. Okay, here's the problem. You'll never get people to admit certain things because it'll blow a lot of other stuff up. What they support.
Okay, well, let me end on this note. Here's why it matters, okay? Because property taxes were increased like 63% just for social services that nobody's actually necessarily getting.
Where is this
The property taxes are why everything is so expensive.
Shelly,
so we are paying for it, and that's why it matters.
Shelly, slow down a second. Quick question. Where are we talking about here when you say the property tax? You talking Hamilton County? You talking about Minnesota? Where are we in what you're talking about? Where are we at?
In Ohio, but especially in Hamilton County, because that's where my focus goes.
Okay.
They said in the meeting, which if you want it, I can find it, but there's a meeting they had where they said, we raised the property taxes specifically for social services. Nobody's necessarily getting this. Property taxes affect all of us in every way. That's why it matters. Because that's why it matters. That's all. So people can believe me or not, but I want to get my you're right.
You do know
one day.
Well, maybe so. I'm trying to help you. Get your that I told y'all so. Trust me, it feels good when you finally get one, when you can say it, but it's not gonna matter, because when you're right, if you're right one day, Shelly, you're gonna be disappointed. And how I'm telling you, because it's not gonna matter. The people that you're sweating and trying to convince of anything you're trying to convince, it's not gonna matter. So I need you to sleep well at night, because you trying to prove something to somebody is not going to, they're never going to say, Shelly, you were right. Shelly, I was wrong. They're never going to say that. So get over that part. All right. So
yeah, that's fine. As long as it comes out, right? As long as it comes out and publicly and something happens and somebody goes to jail and we all get our reparations. Everyone of us deserve the payback.
Here's the
All
problem,
of us.
Shelley. Here's the problem, Shelley. There won't be one politician nor upper room or lieutenant that will go to jail in Minnesota. You know who going to jail in Minnesota for all that fraud? The ground floor level, the black folks. So when you say things like they're using the black folks, I already know what you're saying is real. Okay. People can get mad at me like they mad at you. I already know it's real. It's always the corner boy that go to jail. It's never the big boy that go to jail. The lieutenants never go to jail. The gatekeepers never go to jail. It's the people on the front line that they use that go to jail. That's why I said, what was it, 80? Do you know this for a fact? Do you know this, Shelley? There was like 80 or 85 Somalians that went to jail for fraud in Minnesota. Those are the ground floor. Those are the block boys. Those are the ground floor level people. Those people are taking the charge. They didn't know better. I'm telling you, them Somalians, they're getting money and they're being taken advantage of, and they don't know what they part of. They know there's a fraud, but it's not like anything else. I'll drink a cap full of water out of a cap and give somebody the whole bottled water if I've been out at the desert for 3 days with no water. Just give me a cap. You can have the rest. I just need to be able to survive. If you're that thirsty, people that don't have anything will take crumbs to be able to survive, and people get the lion's portion of the money. You can't tell me 80 Somalians came to the United States of America, set up this big fraud thing in Minnesota, and they outsmarted the system, and they didn't even speak the language or barely spoke the language. You have to understand the infrastructure of the program to even be able to fraud the system. So you're trying to tell me 80 Somalians can go to Cincinnati, Ohio, and just run through Cincinnati metropolitan housing through fraud without being assisted by somebody upstairs? That's ridiculous.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Right. I agree. But we'll see. I mean, either way, it's happening. I mean, it's go time. So we'll see.
All right.
But,
well, Shelley, I think what you should do to get your point even stronger, or whatever you're trying to do in life with it, you should probably go and watch how this thing, I mean, you should deep dive into Minnesota, because Minnesota is going to give you a blueprint of how the dark money is moving, who's getting this money and how they're doing it. And it might be in all that child care. I know it's going on in child care, but it may be going on in some of the things that you're talking about going on in Cincinnati or in Hamilton County. That same playbook might be going on in Minnesota. That's about to get exposed here soon. They're trying to get you to talk about that damn lady getting shot right now, because they definitely know that they got to get that pressure. They got to get that pressure off of that fraud shit in Minnesota, because it's not just Minnesota. It's not just Columbus, Ohio. This shit is going on in places that have a heavy population of immigrants. And I'm going to tell y'all something, whether you like to hear it or not. Some of us have great hearts and we care so much about people that look like us, don't look ever. But everybody don't have that same heart. Some people are using your heart in order for those people to be used in this country. They let these people in this country for a reason, and it wasn't for their fair welfare. It was not for their welfare. Because if you let people run across deserts, or you let people risk their life to get in somewhere, and you don't really care for them. You have to make it easy for them to come through. You got to bring them over on planes. You got to bring them over in helicopters. You got to have a place for them and a plan for them if you really care. It's almost like when you go to a country and they brought some of the Somalians over, and they brought them over because of what was going on in their country, and they just gave them a visa for that moment or whatever. That's when you show that you care, and because you got a program set up for them. But when they scratch and scrape and all that and got to go under barbed wire, and they running over through water and dying, coming 20 miles across desert to get here, and only the strong survive, the people don't care who in charge. If you get here, you get here. If you don't make it, you don't make it. If the little girl, do y'all know there was 12-year-old and 13-year-old girls out in them deserts that got raped and became pregnant?
Yeah.
How could you possibly think that the people?
And guess what? Where are those kids? They're not all kids anymore. Guess where they're at? They're in foster care. A lot of them are in Hamilton County. I found it. There's a Guatemalan boy the county wanted custody of, and the last known address of the parent was Guatemala. I've got it screenshotted. It's trafficking. It's modern day slavery. And it's all money laundering, and it's right. And we're all paying the price for it. It's not a pretty picture when you look at, when you dig into it. It's really not. It's very bad.
Like
very
I
bad.
said, there's money. All you got to do, look, I hate to say it because I know a lot of people get to talk. You know, we're in a country now where we believe rich people are evil. But in my opinion, the most evil person in the world are those that want to convince you that a capitalist is evil versus somebody that they're capitalists too, but they look to utilize programs like this, trafficking children, putting programs together. They're capitalists too. They just look to get tax dollars to make their money. Their cash register is, they ring their cash register on bodies. If I sell
Wyatt,
cookies for a living,
Wyatt, I found it. Ready for this? Here's your proof, okay?
Okay.
Ohio Child Care Resource and Referral Association.
Wait a minute, hold on. What, Shelly? I'm sorry. Before you get too
Okay.
deep into it, what is this source?
You know ARPA money, right? Ohio Rescue Plan.
Okay.
They got $800 million.
Okay, what's the source of this
Ohio.
information? That's all I'm asking at the beginning. Tell me that. What's the source? Where you get this information?
Their tax info. They're $990.
Okay.
It says it's OCCRRA, Ohio Resource Referral Child Care, enhances the statewide system of child and youth learning and development experiences to achieve high quality outcomes for Ohio children and families. We accomplish our mission by supporting Ohio's network of child care resource and referral agencies, collaborating with other networks and partners, implementing statewide programs that improve service quality and advocating for policy improvements. So we are paying them to pay the policymakers. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. That's not, we shouldn't be paying for that.
But that sounds like someone's opening of their policies. It sounds like their that institution's cover letter to me. Where is that? What is that?
This is a nonprofit.
No,
Ohio.
I'm saying what are you reading? Where are you getting that info? What are you reading it off of?
It's their briefly described organization's mission.
Right. Okay, it's their mission. Okay, like their cover. Okay. That's okay. So you're saying they're openly admitting to doing what you saying they're doing, but that didn't sound like that to me. That it doesn't sound like that they're in position to support the policymakers. It sounds like they're providing a service for the county. That's what it sounds like to me with what you just read.
Well,
I could be wrong, but
employees.
I thought it was an admission letter. That's what I thought that was that you were reading.
But when you read into the tax information, it tells you how much they give for lobbying. Like they just, you got to read the tax information, I guess, to understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like they just give money out. Our taxes went to this one nonprofit who then takes that money and gives it to other nonprofits who help create the policies that affect all of us that we don't get to vote on. You see what I'm saying? Like we're not voting on any of this stuff that they're implementing.
Okay, so when you say policies that they're making, are those are internal policies of that company, right? You're not talking about state policy because they don't create state policy. These are policies that they have within their own organizations. Just like if you and I opened a company, Shelly, you and I together, Shelly and Wyatt, we would have some policies that our employees have to, we would govern our policy, our people in our company, right? So those policies that you're describing could be just for those, for that particular nonprofit and how they function as a company. Is that, you're not seeing it that way?
State policy.
These are state policies that who's putting those state policies together?
Well, Jobs and Family Services, Medicaid.
So Jobs and Family Service put their own policies together.
Right. Department of Youth, and whatever.
Just like any other business, right? But that's what I just said.
They create the programs like Ohio Rise, Bridges, Pathways, the multi-system youth, the, all of that.
So they got $800,000 to distribute throughout other nonprofit organizations that fall under their umbrella, that fall under the things that they want to contribute to, right? That fall under whatever. So if they have, if they're the nonprofit organization that could give money to the food kitchen, to the clothing allowances for this particular nonprofit, they may have 10 different businesses or nonprofits under their watch that they distribute money to. That I think the policy thing that you're talking about, you're getting it confused with state policy versus the policies that they create for their company.
No,
Okay,
not
maybe.
about it.
Well,
Yeah, but
I don't
look at who they give money to. It's the churches. Like here, they gave. Okay, for example, this nonprofit gave like $4 million to the city of Cincinnati for like childcare stuff, right? But we're never going to hear that when the city said, "Oh, we need." There's not a shortage of money for childcare, but there's a shortage of parents getting childcare services. Like this is the money you're not going to hear about. When they give money to every rec center, right? Let's see here. They gave it to a better child care, a brighter start child care. When you start looking up every child care that they business they give money to, and then you start looking into those each businesses, there's something fishy about it. Okay, because that's where the money laundering comes in. And then when you start looking into it further, they tell you how much money they spend on lobbying. It's in their tax info.
Okay,
but
then I think that's where
it's whatever. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's our children. It's our American children that matter. I mean,
yeah,
it's our money that matters. It's our future. It's our neighborhoods. It's our city. And something's got to be done. So that's how I feel about it. And people can take it or leave it. But, you know, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, no, I understand. I just think that is where you need to focus your attack, is that point where you said, this is what gets fishy. You know what I'm saying? Right when you said they distribute their money to this and this and this and that, and that's where it starts to get fishy. I think that's where your attack should start. I'm not saying you're wrong or right or whatever. And I'm just saying that I think that if you really want to deep dive and you want to prove people wrong, Shelly, there's your attack spot right there. Everything else has been pretty easy to find out, right? You've gotten to that point. Now you got to figure out, well, okay, now the money stops right here. Now, how is that money being distributed? What's
Right.
shady about it? You see what I'm saying? And I think that's where I think that's where your attack should be.
We'll see. I mean, I'm just to go to jail. That's all I really want. Someone to go to jail. But
you want somebody to go to jail. Do you want somebody to go to jail, or you just want the program to be fixed?
both, because the program needs to be, a lot of the programs are duplicative and nobody's benefiting from the programs. We also need to look at who are the children. You can't bill for children that don't exist. So like JFS will take the children's information, and I think they're handing out the information. So every child could be billed on by multiple entities. It could be your child and you don't even know. That's the problem.
Okay.
Right?
Okay,
So that's where I think we need to get to, like, how are they billing for children? The children have to exist. Who are the children?
Well, now, here's what I say to you, Shelly. I have to reference back to Minnesota. Guys, I'm about to wrap this up. I want to say something. Reference that back to Minnesota and how they end up getting their case done in Minnesota. I heard a Somalian lady. Shelly, you got anything else?
No, that's all. I'll let you go.
I appreciate you. Thanks for engaging
thank
with us.
you.
All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Call again. Sorry. I really have to go because I have a 4 o'clock, but let me get this last point in. I heard I guess it was a news briefing. I heard a Somalian lady. Now, y'all gonna really trip out on me because this is a Wyatt family situation. I heard a Somalian lady get up and at a news briefing with a statement she was reading, and she said some words about the fraud that's going on there, and she said she was acting as if she was a parent of one of the kids that were in school, and she said, I am, and I don't know if this is going to go over too well with people because we all see things a little bit different, and we're limited to what we know based on experiences in life, okay? But I heard the lady read something that I know she didn't write. She's stumbling over the words. There's a difference between understanding what you're reading versus being nervous. You can write something yourself and you can be nervous, and I can hear fear and nervousness in your body when you're reading it, but there's a way that you can tell when somebody wrote what they're reading, okay? She was literally reading something that somebody else wrote for her. And then in that statement, she says, I understand fraud is bad. She didn't know that that was in there because she was shocked. Now, I know some of y'all seen that, but that's not my point. That's not what I'm trying to make. I'm talking about that lady who read that statement. Some of y'all probably seen that. What some of you didn't see, you didn't hear what she said that I knew wasn't true. She said, I need this daycare because I go to work and I go to school. She said, I'm a medical student. She didn't say I'm in school for nursing. She didn't say I go to school for LPNS and all that. She said, I'm a medical student. Anybody and everybody knows, even nurses out here, y'all know that y'all ain't never going to reference yourself as, if you're in nursing school, you're in nursing school. You're never going to reference yourself and say something like, I'm in medical school. And you're going to, nursing school or something like that. You're not going to say that. You're going to reference it because you take pride in what you're trying to do. In the medical field, it's really clingy and they funny about things. Now, I'm going to tell you how I know this lady was lying. She said, I need this daycare because I go to work and I go to school. I'm in medical school. Now, let me tell you what I know personally about going to medical school. It is almost impossible to not only go to school and work, but it is almost impossible to go to school, work, while you're in medical school. I don't mean to be that one that find that little bitty ass thing and get on people's nerve about it, but it's not really a thing because you stay in medical school 8 to 9 hours a day. Okay? And to go to medical school and work is almost impossible. It's almost impossible. Medical students go to school all year round. And the only time that they really have off is on the weekends. Now, y'all might not believe me, but I think some of y'all really know that I really know. My daughter's in medical school. She can't work. And it's impossible to go to medical school, have a job, and be able to get through medical school. Medical school is a job. You don't go to work until your final year of medical school, and you don't have time for jobs. You don't have time for anything, your residency, you don't have time for all of that. I know that letter was written, and it was written for a certain ear to hear. And the last thing I'll say on that is this. When they broke in, when they went into that daycare center in Minnesota. Now, I know some people that own daycare centers. Some of them in here right now own daycares. If somebody break in your daycare, the last thing they're going to do is take your personal files. They're not taking your payroll information. They're not taking your employee, and they're definitely not taking your roster of children. They in there. Anybody that'll break into a daycare will break in. They will break in and take things that are important. Yeah, okay, let's just go back to the 90s. It looked like my live ended. Guys, help me out. Did I go out? It looked like I went out. Somebody help me out. Did I fall off on Hold on. It looks like I went out, guys. Let me just make sure. Let me make sure before I say this. And I was about to get on some. I was about to get on one. You can still see me on Facebook? Yeah, Facebook went out. I don't know why. Well, I'll finish this up for my people on YouTube. Okay, because I see YouTube is still good. I don't know what happened. How about I just do this? How about I go back in and try to hold on one second. Don't go anywhere, YouTube. Okay, YouTube, y'all still there? I lost the Facebook people. Facebook went out. Maybe they'll come over. But what I'll do is hold on. Let me just pull it back up just to make sure. Yeah, it's saying that I was live. I'll end this on YouTube. Okay, everybody on Facebook fell off. It's just you and I tonight, YouTube, for the end of the ending of this. Hold on, let me make sure I got all my stuff up. There we are. Give me 1 second. I want to make this last point because maybe somebody will go on YouTube and want to hear the finale of the point that I'm trying to make. Let me just make sure that make sure that I close them out. If you don't mind, give me 2 ticks. Bear with me. Now I may have to go back a little bit in making my point. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me make sure. Okay, just making sure we good right here. I don't know what happened to the Facebook people. I don't know what happened, but Angela says I'm on Wyatt Live Facebook page. Are you still there? Oh, wait a minute, Crystal Hawk. They saying that it's not down. It's telling me that I lost connection. So I'm gonna just keep on going. Maybe the Wyatt Live page is still going. I don't know, but the system is telling me, yeah, okay, Wyatt Live is still going. It's telling me that we're out right now. And there's not many people over on the Wyatt Live page. I don't know what happened, but my personal page fell out. The Wyatt Live looks like it's still going. Let me see why this is saying that it's unable to connect. I tell you what, it's too late anyway. Let me just go and keep on going what I'm saying. And then I can just send the Wyatt Live over to the personal page. It's almost impossible to go to medical school and have a job. Someone wrote that information for that young lady, and some of us knew it wasn't true what she was saying. And when people break into the daycare, I seriously doubt that they were there to steal information, employee information, staffing information. I have to reference back to the crackhead days. If somebody broke into a building, they weren't going in there to steal no paperwork. They were going in there to steal something. And y'all know Minnesota has a huge drug problem. People aren't breaking into daycares to steal paperwork. They're going to take your microwave, your televisions, and all the things that they can sell on the street. But they conveniently lost all of their paper trail to be able to prove the roster of their kids, to be able to prove the attendance on a daily basis. It's all fraud. It's all fraud. I want to say this, and I wish my people were all here. I want to just say this. I really wish that my people would stop trying to clean up the mess that our leadership has put us in. They want you to believe everybody is bad other than what they doing. And the writing is on the wall. The fraud is all there. Everything is there to show you who's leading the corruption, who's all involved. We got to be smarter than this. We got to understand that this ICE thing, that's not our fight. If y'all wasn't saying anything about that baby in Columbus, Ohio, getting shot and killed by the police department who took when she was in there stealing alcohol and she took off and got shot through the front window, you shouldn't really have anything to say about this ICE agent shooting that lady who, if she's pregnant, if she's married and she got kids, she should have better shit to be taken care of other than some shit that don't concern her. I'm sorry I had to say that. I've been wanting to say it. That is not our fight. Our fight is, why are our 11-year-olds getting shot? That's our fight. Our fight is keeping our men in our families and keeping our men in our homes and getting our young ladies married and having our men be respectable to our young women. That's our fight. Our fight is our fight. Our fight is not how people come into this country and how they being dealt with when they got here illegal. That is not our fight. I'm sorry. I didn't want to go out on a negative note. Oh, Tanika says, when I was in nursing school, they told us that we would eat, sleep, and breathe nursing school. They told us we could only work less than 20 hours per week. They never lied. Exactly. And that's nursing school. Not to take anything away. Now, I've known nurses that went through school. They don't have time for nothing. My baby calls me almost every day or every other night from Ohio State in medical school. And I'm telling you, it is a full-time job to be in that school every day. A full-time job. I gotta go. Peace and love to everybody, man. I'll see you guys on the next one.
That we can learn what it means to really love ourselves. Then we can learn to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. That we can live in harmony, see ourselves as a family. This is my prayer for humanity. That we respect our women and protect our girls. That they feel safe in every corner of the world. That we can live in harmony, see ourselves as a family. This is my prayer for humanity. That every man will be a father to someone, by loving every boy as if it were his only son. That we can live in harmony, see ourselves as a family. This is my prayer. This is my prayer for humanity. And every leader knows what power is really for. That we can live in harmony, see ourselves as a family. This is our prayer. This is our prayer. This is our prayer for humanity. These words all across the world. That every man, woman, boy, and girl will hear these words all across the world. That every man, woman, boy, and girl will for humanity.